as I said, we did do the voting. I see Daganites are getting kind of a pass on this one. Well, I won't say you'll regret it, but they are pretty nasty. Them Daganites.
Did you think that might be why we're steering clear of them for now?
Well, here's the thing about it that I kind of was dancing around, but I might as well just make very clear here. The longer a thing goes unaddressed, the more difficult it's going to be. Like, so by addressing your monumental case as something that isn't that the Daganites, they're going to get stronger, like in influence, but maybe also just like actual molecular control for some of them.
Oh my god.
Same's true with the Valentine.
I guess
clan.
they're next.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it happened last campaign too. Whatever we ignore had to ramp up so the story could keep going.
All right, we have some things to roll off. Let's see what the results have been since last time you guys were around doing stuff. First of all, we're going to see how the Valentine clan has been dealing with the Daganites. Not bad. In the time since the last session that we had, Daganites have had kind of a rising level of influence and power throughout the city. In the shadows, they've been working, and Valentine clan has noticed that while the other samurai are not necessarily the biggest threat to them, now there's a new faction moving in, like taking a cut wherever they can, and even rolling over people that are outside the contacts and everything. So, what's happening there? The Mafia is able to successfully begin a counterfeiting ring selling bootleg Poppy merchandise and tour recordings. The bootleg audio recordings are actually not of Poppy, but of a Poppy impersonator found by the Mafia and paid quite small amounts of money. Leading this effort, of course, is Rumor Rascal, the most powerful gang member within Guam. They just straight up got a Poppy impersonator. Poppy, of course, is unhappy with this, but there's a little that she can do. Finally, we're just gonna have all the clans roll off and see who can roll the highest. Ooh. Jesus Christ, everybody. Holy moly. Nobody rolled above a 0. That's incredible. So for this week, there's been minor skirmishes between all of the clans that are beneath the Valentine clan at the moment. For various reasons, they've all just started like fighting one another. Everyone's struggling. Jaguar clan in particular is struggling the hardest. And Dorobo group too. Oh my goodness. Dorobo group cannot expand its operations any further than the beach and select parts of real estate within Stella Maris. They have some small offices where they have like contacts and make real estate purchases, but for the most part, they found that the chaos within Stella Maris right now, with the Daganites and Valentine clan clashing, are making things a little bit untenable. Strangely enough, there are no like actual employees of Dorobo at any of the Dorobo properties. They're only subcontractors, like all of them. You know who rolled the highest of all these groups? The fucking police. Which means, at least in my interpretation of this, the cops are scraping by, but they're managing to keep law and order where they can, though they cannot truly get a hold on what's happening with the Daganites and the Valentine clan. It's kind of like above their level of concern for the moment. When it comes to dealing with the lesser clans and with kind of just general runaround criminal activity, they're able to keep things mostly contained. Thus, the threat level stays at medium. Corruption level pretty much stays where it is at the moment. And just a little hint. You won't really be able to lower the corruption level too much until you take care of, that 4th arc option. Till then, it's gonna stay pretty much like at a pretty corrupt level. Yeah, as long as the police are corrupt, you can't expect much.
4th one was the Nazis, wasn't it?
Knife party, yeah.
Okay, noted.
To activate this one. All of you are currently dealing with various fallout situations from the Poppy incident. First of all, good job on the case closed. What would Claudia be doing, I guess, in light of that? Like, technically, she got a pat on the back. I'm saying it's a job well done, and it's Poppy we'll say it's been like at least 24 hours. Hasn't like done anything or made any like moves, like hostile actions or motions or anything.
I mean, I guess she's kind of just keeping her ear out for any rumblings about it, but like otherwise, and making sure Poppy's all right, I guess. But given the revelation, I don't think she feels like she needs to look out for her that much. So
okay.
She's probably keeping ear to the ground, but otherwise, not like going out of her way or anything.
Since your time dealing with Poppy and sort of the effect that she could have on people, Claudia has developed a sort of adaptation where you can now pick up on when somebody is kind of putting off a hypnotic tune or like a subliminal sound. And because of your talent as a singer and just your experience on stage, you can actually like counteract that whatever that tone is with your own kind of like voice. It doesn't always work because the range is limited. So there are some just hypnotic songs that are going to be way too strong. Like they're just, you can't project like that, or it's at a range you just can't reach. But for now, generally, when it comes to dealing with other like voice type mermen, like you now have like sort of a counter charm that you can do. The way that you could discover that you have that ability, if you just wouldn't realize it right away, is like Claudia may be on her way to work, and maybe just on a day off or some time off. What does she actually do on her time off usually, just generally speaking?
Probably hangs around as Soundgarden for the most part.
Right, so you're just hanging around. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you were just hanging around Soundgarden and you heard someone you knew that was like a local producer trying to sweet talk someone that was naive, and you could tell that it was being enhanced a little. Would just say it's someone like off to the side between sets, some scumbag producer you know from around town trying to talk to somebody who looks like they just got out of high school. Kind of just corner him and get him to, you know, like kind of just like, you know, throw money around, impress him, flash around some nice watches, fancy Uzik phone, you know, that sort of thing. Be like, you know, you're going places type thing. The reason I say that is because we'll say that if you roll, what's a good one here? For this one, I'm going to put gaze. So go ahead and roll gaze, I guess, against a passive difficulty of 2. You managed to meet that. So this is a combination of hearing and seeing. So if you were to pay attention to that, which I assume Claudia would because she's like kind of like a mom, and this is like her kind of like, yeah, it's a place for her to be and kind of do her singing thing. You would notice not only is there a sort of strangeness in the man's tone, the producer's tone, but also you'd even be able to see sort of the very specific reactions of the person that they're talking to, the way that they kind of run their fingers through their own hair, sort of nervousness, fidgeting, where their eyes are looking, how steady they're looking, even the dilation of the pupils. Like you can't exactly tell what is going on per se, but combining like everything with the suggestive hypnotic tone almost, the nervous reaction the person, the producer is talking to, and sort of they're just their body language. You can easily put 2 and 2 together and counter it. How would, if you would, I mean, I'm assuming Claudia would, right?
Yes.
So how would Claudia counter? Just like, you know, it's just in a corner somewhere. It's not like they're making a big scene, but it's something you notice because you're a detective, a community outreach person. You always got to protect the most vulnerable segments of society, including young, talented people. So
She'd probably just casually walk over, you know, and probably just go like, probably just ask, like, you know, would you like to come over here for a drink? I just want to buy your drink after that set you just did. It was really good.
the producer, seeing that you are trying to lure this person away, obviously would take exception to that. This is, you can tell up close with your combination of gaze and your molecular control that you have. You can tell this is also a merfolk, not very powerful or anything, but they are one of your people. They're just gonna stick themselves right between you and the person they're talking to. Say, why don't you just bug off their Christmas cake? I'm looking for the new talent. Yeah, old. His mouth is hanging open.
Excuse me, did you just call me Christmas cake?
That's right.
Can I talk to your manager?
I am my own manager.
Well, sir, that's not a way to talk to anyone around here. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't work around here. So buzz off.
Okay, I'll leave, but not because you told me to, but because I have to go home and check my notes on how to respond to things in a more concise manner. Now, I've been looking into classes for doing that sort of thing for quite some time, but unfortunately, it seems that I'm just not that good at it. My talents happen to lie elsewhere, such as in overly explaining subjects. But enough about that. My original point was that I have trouble making concise statements. I have flashcards to accomplish this. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring them with me. That sort of information would have been pertinent at the beginning of my statement. Unfortunately, I didn't say it at the beginning of the statement. Well, so long, and he just walks away. The musician that you came to the rescue of, extremely grateful. Just one problem, they seem to be missing their wallet.
She'll probably. Do you say there's a bouncer here? She'll probably alert the bouncer that says someone just. The man who just left stole her wallet, most likely.
But how could it have happened? Ah, now there's the question. Yeah, also, yeah, you are a cop.
I know, but I mean, I am off duty.
Doesn't fucking matter. What are you, new to America? You have a gun on you and you pull it out to shoot children who are cutting in front of you at Chuck E. Cheese.
No, I do not do that.
Do now.
Well, this is an interesting. Here's the question, though. You can actually make this assessment in character if you'd like, unless you've already figured it out. But otherwise, go ahead and have Claudia roll a was it secret sniffer, I believe. Okay, so it's a little difficult for you to make this assessment totally and like accurately, but the reason that wallet disappeared while that person, the producer, was talking to you is you were actually being, as someone who just learned this, you were being charmed, but not in a way that you knew how to counter. In other words, yes, he is a voice type like you are, and he did something that slipped right through your defenses that you just like pretty much realized. Now all you lost was a wallet in this case. And honestly, it's not likely that you've heard someone do what that guy just did, but it's almost like he just did monotone droning of like information in a way that like caused you to blank out just for a moment. Not long enough to like, you know, do serious harm in that particular instance. Instead, just steal a wallet. But that's a very powerful method of suggestion. One that it may be worthwhile to learn, and even more importantly, learn to counteract. So now you have kind of a, I guess, a trajectory, if you want, for your character to kind of deal with. Because being a suggestive, or like someone that has the power of suggestion as a merfolk, that is kind of one of the archetypes of the peoples of like the sea and mythology, like the siren, you know, for example, like that song. So you are learning slowly but surely, after meeting the crown of voices, that there is a lot of depth to this particular subject. For now, we'll say that there may be opportunities in the future to meet other people that have suggestive abilities like that you can counteract and kind of train with, or just beat down with your own counter charming as a way to advance. But yeah, it's kind of where you're maybe where you want to go, because you know, if you got good enough at it, you maybe could even possibly counteract someone like Poppy someday, for example. And that's going to be the case for most of you when it comes to kind of advancing your way down the bloodline that you're in. You're going to want to look at like different things in mythology that are sort of like relevant to your whatever your chosen bloodline is, and you know how that can apply to your character's growth in whatever way. Ways for you to adapt and evolve as kind of like merfolk. I know for two of you that involves teeth, I believe. And Mikey actually kind of already did that last session as well, when he was trying to read what people had seen. So those are just different ways that you can take that on. So yeah, you took care of the producer. You're fine in that regard. Otherwise, you say you're not going to bother with Poppy if she's not going to bother with you. Is that how it's going to go?
Yeah, I feel like as long as Poppy isn't messing with me or my kids, we're on even terms, relatively.
We'll just go one by one, I guess, sort of covering a little bit about downtime and reactions and things. So next on the list, Enya, is there anything that you kind of would have done since the Poppy incident, or anything you would focus on?
Clint did mention that he wanted to try to open up a pilot program over at that, it was like a medical facility.
Oh yeah, okay.
She'd
You want
be-
to look into that?
Yeah, she would want to go talk to Clint about that, but also in her spare time, she's going to try to figure out how to open up her own suicide hotline for mermen, since that's probably not a thing that they have.
Wow.
She's probably going to be one-manning it until she can find, like, volunteers, but
For the moment, Clint will give you information on sort of anyone you can call if you want to try to push like local politicians towards endorsing the opening of that mental care facility for merfolk. He will, of course, also volunteer to work at your hotline.
Oh, that's really nice of him. Wow. Two other things that are going to be on Anya's sightlines. She's trying to think of like what she can do for the House of the Rising Sun to make it into some sort of community resource instead of just some sort of, you know, depressing place for people to congregate and be miserable at. So maybe she doesn't have the resources or the ideas for that right now, but she does want to make that like a productive thing. Like maybe rent out rooms once they're like cleaned up and fixed up, that kind of thing.
The police are going to have a little bit of difficulty dealing with doing that at the moment.
It's probably a work in progress thing to even have it cleaned up at all.
You can donate a fate point to the police roll, though, if you want, on this subject. Yeah, actually, they're going to need 2 fate points to pass that because of the city corruption level. They will be able to actually make real progress in reforming the House of the Rising Sun.
Well, yeah, that's a given. I'll give up 2 fate points, no problem.
Okay. Paying 2 fate points, you can invoke anything from the Stella Maris sheet or from your own sheet if you'd like. An easy one on the Stella Maris sheet is that it has the Blessed City by the Sea as a high concept. And then you could invoke the melancholy mood of the city as another thing, and there you go. So because the current mood in the city is melancholy and crime is high and corruption is high, you've decided that you won't abandon the Blessed City by the Sea. You want it to be just as bright and shining as Atlantis, where you come from. And so you kind of engage the local police personally. You kind of work with them, and you have Clint's support, of course, for kind of making generally anything you do involving the community. If you need volunteers, Clint will volunteer. He doesn't have a family, so this is kind of what he does.
First of all, I imagine like they would probably, and you would ask if she could borrow like maybe a room at the bus stop boxing club for maybe doing her like calls, or do you think that they would let her at the police station even though she's off duty?
Well, why not set up a small office at the House of the Rising Sun once it's like actually cleared out?
Oh, yeah, that's an idea actually, and just kind of make that like a place, like a spot, like hey, there's that one weirdo at the house. Go talk to them.
As you're moving into the House of the Rising Sun, you will notice that there are small paper talismans that have been left hanging around.
That's shaman.
Yeah, they have Japanese writing on them, so it's not him actually.
Oh.
Yeah, they have little. Would you like to remove them?
No, she's gonna leave those alone. But see, all the more reason to be close to this house, like when she's off duty, to learn things.
Okay. One of the first calls that you get on your hotline is from an anonymous number.
You've reached the lifeguard hotline. This is Anya speaking. How can I help you? Are you currently in distress? She's gonna look around, like, her room. Hello? Hey. Look, if you need to prank someone, this is a pretty important line, you know? But if you're serious and you do need help, please say something.
Yo!
Huh, okay, well, I take it that you're not in pain?
Is this thing on? Hello?
Yeah.
You just moved in there. It would be greatly appreciated if you were to get rid of those troublesome paper strips that are just hanging about. Could you get rid of them?
Oh, what about them makes them troublesome? They don't seem to be disturbing anything.
Tear them off and burn the person that laid them there, or I will come and flay your flesh right from your bones. 5 million rats will descend upon you. 10 million rats. Well, goodbye.
Okay. Just to be clear, it's not a line appropriate for pranking. So, have a good day, sir or madam, or... Yeah, have a good day. And she'll just... They probably already hung up, but she doesn't know.
You get a series of kind of weird, disturbing calls like that throughout the day. I mean, you do get people that call, are looking for help and services, but you do get occasionally just get calls that are just sound like one of them just sounds like a dog laughing. Another one is like someone falling down a flight of stairs. It sounds like one of them is just a rope creaking, like it's something's hanging from it, something heavy from a wooden rafter. Just very odd. You could say they're pranks.
So at some point, Enya's gonna like hang up one of these phone calls and just kind of like bury her like face in her hands, wondering if like maybe she didn't get like the advertising right for like where, you know, she has like little flyers up plastered here and there wherever she could, but she's obviously not reaching the right people here.
Well, you finally get another call. Would you like to answer, or are you still gonna you're just gonna let it go?
Still be sulking, but then she'll snap out of it and grab for it.
Person on the other end of the line is your friend. Not really. It's Sonny Fortuna. You know this because he answers, when you pick up the phone, he says, "Hello, Sonny Fortuna here," and then he waits.
Like her excited face at like the potential of like, hey, maybe this time is kind of like just gets kind of normal. Like, oh, yeah, you're that Dorbo guy, right?
Yes, that's me. Say, I recently cleaned that place out, and I was wondering, are you having issues with inappropriate communications by any chance?
Scratching her head. That's funny that you say that, 'cause yeah. How do you know though?
Just call it a hunch. Usually when I clear out a certain type of energy from a location, it creates a sort of vacuum until you fill that area with bright positive energy. Darker intentions may seep in and attempt to reinfect the vessel, such as a building or a person, or well, there aren't anything other, I don't think there are things other than buildings or people, right? No, that's not true. There are cars. Sorry, blanked.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, this car's, yeah.
Well, the sooner that you're able to reform and build up that location that you're in, the sooner you'll have to not worry too much about those spirits or intentions or psychic child ghosts or witch curses or cat curses or, well, you get the idea.
Huh. Wow, that's really informative. So, if I make this a spot of joy and safety, then the magic and the ghosts... Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yes, there is an alternative, but well, it involves a human sacrifice and allowing them to soak up all of the negative energy, then taking them to a cliffside where you have a fire going. And
Say no more. I'm not interested.
All right. Well, you know, okay. Just...
Hey, thanks so much, though. That's really helpful. I'm really trying to like do a thing, you know. So that's gonna go a long way.
Okay. Well, I called you because, well, for this very reason, actually. I felt the energy of curses going towards that location. So I knew that's how there was a thing going on to call you. But what I didn't know is that you would pick up, because I assumed I would just be left on the line and it would ring and ring and ring. And then I would get to the location and throw my hand over my mouth and gasp because you'd be dead from the curses. But instead, you're not dead from the curses, you're alive. So I cleared out kind of my entire day thinking that I would dramatically find your cursed body, probably frozen in terror. Instead, you sound perfectly fine. Do you at least have a cold or something?
A cold? No.
Yeah,
what?
or, you know, do you need medicine or...
I feel
do you have
perfectly...
lockjaw?
Lockjaw? No.
Tetanus?
Nothing. I'm...
Earache?
No earache.
Is so you're fine. Okay, well, fine, okay. He just hangs up.
She looked like she was about to say something else, but you know, the sound of the hang up. Oh, well, wow, that was really nice of him, though. There was one more thing that Enya would be trying to pay attention to.
What's that?
She's interested in any sort of activity with regards to that coral steel that's coming in, and she might be able to do that through her job, I'm thinking.
What is it that you want to know specifically about coral steel?
Just
You just want any activity you're saying, like?
yeah, just any sort of public, activity.
Sure.
Like if there was a shipment that came in, so that she'd especially like patrol the area just to,
This is something some of your squad mates actually may be able to help you with. So I'm gonna just a series of rolls between some of you. Starting with you, Enya. Go ahead and give me we'll say negotiate. No, say connect roll. As you reach out and try to get more information about coral steel. A 2 will pass. You'll find that with recent activity between the Valentine clan and other clans, coral steel shipments have mostly become like focused instead of being like they're already pretty tightly funneled in through Valentine connections and out a similar way. Although they don't exactly corner the market and can't like set like dictator style terms on what the sales will be, prices, that sort of thing. They do right now have like a pretty sizable control over or influence with groups that do shipping of coral steel throughout the world, really, from Guam. So with recent kind of changes and within the local political scene, the Valentine clan seems like kind of hotter than ever on the track of maybe one day actually having a for real hard to shake monopoly on coral steel shipments. It's very profitable for them to do that. So that is kind of like what they're working. That's what they're working towards, like solidifying. You'll also learn that there are coral steel shipments that have gone missing from Atlantis, between Atlantis and Guam. There are shipments that have gone missing. A noticeable amount.
Oh, okay.
I will say that another person that can help with this investigation is John Towner. Believe it or not, John, you are a shark man about town, a shark about town. Where do you usually hang out during your during your downtime? What do you usually do with yourself?
I imagine he hangs out at the station or just like his home if he's not out doing something.
Does he have neighbors, friends? Like, what is his life outside of work?
I don't think he really has one.
Doesn't Mikey and him go to that one like amphibious
Okay, yeah.
food
I mean,
cart?
he has work friends like Mikey.
I was
but...
gonna say we visit Plastic Beach.
Right, you have Plastic Beach, which is run by, I believe, is it a kid and their dad or something?
It's a kid, his dad who's always asleep, and their dog who delivers the food. Is what we.
Oh,
decided.
right. So yes, during one of your forays to Plastic Beach, where there is indeed a kid running it, and a sleeping kind of like older man just in a hammock probably on this floating food cart. You what is Towner's favorite thing to order at like a food cart type place? Does he prefer seafood or land food? Is he a surf or a turf guy?
I'd say turf.
Okay, so like a steak, ribs, kind of.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Steak and rib, and then Mikey usually get the vegan option, right? The vegetarian stuff.
They cancel each other out.
Well, on this particular day, John, whatever you're eating, give me a super taster roll. The 2, yeah, I'd say you'll be able to pick it out. Whatever you're eating is some kind of mishmash of different foods, like kind of like chopped up, like almost sausage style, cooked into a casing that is then put into a roll. It is a sort of sausage sandwich. They're quite good, very, very quick to make and eat. Variety of spices therein. There is one particular spice that stands out to you, though. It's a fragment of coral steel.
Oh.
Sticks right in the roof of your mouth. It just pierces right into it.
Ow, extra spicy today, he says, and he pulls it out.
The kid sees that and says, you gonna sue me?
No, you made my food extra spicy. What's the problem?
The kid is sweating profusely. He seems to still think that you're messing with him. All right, well, I don't know why there's metal in. Hey, he kind of narrows his eyes at the metal. That looks weird. What kind of metal is that? Yeah, would Towner recognize that it is coral steel? That's a good question. Would Towner recognize kind of like a sort of pretty important metal, or would he just not care?
Metal's metal, I imagine, unless it has some sort of like otherworldly look to it or something like that.
It does. It has a sort of very bright sheen that is rippled, sort of like Damascus steel.
Oh, maybe that.
Mikey, would you be there at the food cart as well? Because you're a person who sees very well with your eyeballs.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, they're probably there getting a bite. He's probably eating steamed veggie dumplings. That's a vegetarian food that I know.
Yeah. So then you would probably
Would be a
see
good street food.
your friend pull a piece of metal out of his mouth, and like you got special eyes that they have they have lenses for. They have your brand. How would you react to seeing someone pull coral steel? It's weird. First of all, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably just eating as well. I feel like they just kind of sit and eat just way more than a human can. And then he probably stops and just kind of looks up at the piece of metal and is just kind of viewing it and just goes, "Towner, can I see that? That doesn't look right. That's not normal. Here." And he kind of holds his hand out.
Yeah, he'll give it to him.
He kind of, I guess, brings it a little closer to view it. I guess because since coral steel's been like such a big export, like he probably would have seen it somewhere before. I feel like
Oh yeah, you've definitely seen it. If you're a forensics guy, you've seen it just in general. If you work at the docks, you've seen big shipments of coral steel going out. Like doing any kind of like research or forensic work, you probably at some point you've run into even maybe a coral steel weapon being used in the crime. They're pretty good at killing merfolk. Like
Okay,
when
and this is
when a
just
regular
like a-
sword don't want to. Yeah.
This is just like a raw chunk of it, right? It's not shaped in any specific way.
It's like a chip or a fragment. It's a shard. Yeah, we'll call it a shard. It's a shard of steel. So it looks like it was probably broken off of a larger piece. But it's sharp enough to go through Towner's the roof of his mouth, which probably isn't, soft. I imagine it's probably pretty difficult. So it's like pretty sharp.
Okay. Yeah. After looking at it, Mikey will look at Towner and just go, "What did you order? Your usual or?"
I mean, yeah, I didn't order the metal, of course.
Well, yeah, and Mikey will get up and actually start heading towards the booth, and he'll go, "Hey, kid, the meat that you order, where do you get it? I'm more interested in finding out where the piece of coral steel came inside it.
You guys are cops, so
I mean, I'm not. Look, the food here is too good for me to arrest you. So I just need to know who delivers the meat. I mean, even the person that just delivers it, if we can find out who they are, then I guess I can ask them and just say that I've seen them."
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then I order it from a place called the Funny Farm. It's illegal meat, but it's not people or anything. It's not people. It's just they don't have licensing to sell meat and food, so they pass the savings that they would normally pay for those fees on to me, the vendor, and so I sell.
Towner continues to eat the meat
Yeah,
despite the
yeah,
revelation.
yeah. Mikey just kind of nods. He just goes, "Do you know where they have do they just deliver it to you, or do you pick it up? Is there a place, like an operation?"
Sure, there's a place down by the docks where they kind of operate out of selling. Well, it's supposed to be a tool shop, but they say that they have like additional tools for refrigeration that they keep in a sort of refrigeration style unit, so they can supposedly demo them. But it's an actual refrigerator, and they use it to just do shipments of meat and such. I don't know where they get it. I assume probably from
I mean, that's not
cows or pigs.
It's not really important. And Mikey will just kind of gaze over his shoulder at Towner, who's eating whatever it is, whatever the meat is, and just kind of look back at the kid and just go, "It's all right, thank you." And he'll kind of, he'll reach into like a pocket. Like I guess I think we said that like they have like an aqua uniform, like jackets and stuff like that. He'll probably pull out like a small baggie and start and bag the coral steel.
Okay.
Just as like a habit, and just pocket it.
Okay.
And go back to eating it, the rest of his dumplings.
Yeah. Well, if you I guess you would eventually Enya would reach out to you, I assume, then, right? That was what Enya wanted to kind of like reach out and get more information from anyone who may know something about Coral Steel. It seems you two have like run into that, so not a far-fetched thing to say you'd probably pass that information on to her, correct?
Yeah.
You found there's some kind of weird meat thing with Coral Steel.
Oh.
Yeah, I would make mention that there's something going on at the docks, and that either Coral Steel's being used to process meat, or it's being smuggled with meat, or something. It's being used in the same place that they're prepping meat, and just there's quotes on meat.
Okay. And he mentions the funny farm, right?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you mentioned the funny farm.
So she's gonna try to look up to see if this is a private business, and if it's on Dorobo property.
Okay, this is where Blue can come in. Believe it or not. Blue, leave it or not. Blue, you are someone who has a lot of experience with kind of like being in circles where illegal businesses come up pretty often. They need to make sometimes payments. They need to like pay off cops so that they'll look the other way during like, investigations into incoming shipments, or, just workers who maybe aren't documented. So illegal shipping businesses are kind of like frequent flyers of like police bribery. And in that regard, I would say that Blue has heard of the Funny Farm. Question is, if that information had been passed around the office, that's something that Enya's looking into. Kind of, what is your play? Would you assist in her kind of like little sniffing around an investigation, or would you obfuscate with the possibility of getting a payday out of it? You can choose to either assist your department or use it as an opportunity to squeeze cash out of the Funny Farm business operators. That's up to you.
Maybe she'd ask Enya why she's looking into Coral Steel.
What? Are you kidding me? That's like such a... It's coming from Atlantis, which is, my home, and I want to know where it's going. I'm not really sure what people intend to do with it, so... Right now it seems like the Valentines are getting a lot of, control over it. Somewhat. It's just good to keep an eye on it. And she's sort of like squinting at Blue. I'd appreciate it if there's anything you know.
Would you like to roll to see how much you know about this current situation, I guess?
Sure.
Okay. Give me a shakedown roll against the passive opposition of 2. Well, you pass. So in your kind of like wheelings and dealings, how hard does Blue press on people when she's like looking for a payout or whatever? Or just, like she pretty cold-blooded about it?
I mean, it depends on like case by case, I guess.
Well, when it comes to these Funny Farm operators, you first of all probably have never spoken to one directly. You've spoken to the representatives and couriers at times when it was necessary to do so. They seem to be... I'll say these Funny Farm operators, they seem to be insulated in a way that you recognize as someone who often deals with corrupt individuals. They have insulated themselves with just hired help, subcontractors, you might call them. There's quite a few of them. In fact, there's so many, you've never, like I said, met an actual member of the Funny Farm or an actual person that represents the Funny Farm. You've only met, like I said, like workers, delivery people, sometimes security, that sort of thing. You can shake them down for information, but these are mostly normal people. Some of them are merfolk, some of them are normal humans. There doesn't seem to be any discrimination along those lines. And for the most part, they don't seem to know a whole lot other than they take meat to vendors, sometimes in trucks, and sometimes they're actual meat vendors they're actual vendors of meat that take these along with them and mix it in with their legitimate supply and just like sell it off along their routes. This is all off the books. So that is about like what you would probably be able to learn, assuming you don't like try to shake more of them down for information on, or you haven't shaken more of them down for information like because you were more pressed about it than that. When it comes to payoffs, I will say that Funny Farm would provide them if you try to coerce them out, but it's usually in the form of direct deposits into a prepaid account. It is all very, again, insulated. Like there's no record ever kept of who's depositing the money, where it comes from. It's just nice even amounts. Occasionally, very strange amounts, like fractions of a cent. But otherwise, it seems to be like it's one of those things where it's like you don't know who these people are. You do know that they have operations. You do know that they have like people working for them. You do know they have money. It is strange that they're selling like illegal meat, but it doesn't seem to be the most harmful thing. And if you were to ever take any of that illegal meat to a lab, well, I guess that's up to you actually. If you would you have ever taken any of that illegal meat to a lab?
Yeah.
In light of recent events, I mean.
Yeah, I'd say that she would.
Okay. In that case, would you use Ice Peak's lab for that?
Yeah, I guess she will also divulge information, but she'll not incriminate like the lower level workers.
Okay. Ice Peak. This is a flashback, obviously, to when Blue would have done this. But go ahead and give me a brain trust roll to see if you can determine what this meat is.
Oof.
Yeah, you can invoke if you'd like to pass. We'll say a passive difficulty of like 3.
Sure, why not? I will. This is meat, and I would like to use my need feed off the living, like to find out what kind of meat this is.
So at this period, we'll say sometime in the past, you look through your all your equipment, the readout, chemical analysis. Something weird about this meat. Something wrong. It's difficult to assess quite what it is. Something strange about this meat. Further research reveals exactly what the problem is. This meat shouldn't exist. This meat belongs to a woolly mammoth, which is really weird.
Okay.
It's woolly mammoth meat.
Woolly mammoth meat. Well, I'd super triple check it before taking it back to Blue.
Yes, if you triple check it, you will be able to determine that is exactly what it seems like. This matches sort of DNA analysis that have been done on the remains of woolly mammoths that may be in a scientific database that you have access to thanks to your police credentials. Just for scientific purposes and such, whenever you're doing research on a case, you may end up running into things, especially now that there are more bodies and kind of like pieces of evidence that and ruins and corpses that have all been kind of like thrown around by the storms and flooding of 2095 on top of earthquakes, rising of continents, that sort of thing. There's an ever expanding interest in ancient archaeology and biology and research by kind of like paleontologists into kind of remains of things like woolly mammoths, especially across land bridges that do not exist or ice bridges, that sort of thing. In other words, there's a big booming interest in this sort of thing, and you have likely heard of people attempting to clone woolly mammoths, but nobody seems to have actually done it in a way that would involve farming them.
Unusual.
Yeah. Would you like to taste the woolly mammoth meat?
Yeah, she will in fact ask Mikey and Towner to take her to that restaurant later, but right now Not with the sample she has. She will bag that for evidence and go talk to Blue.
So you can tell, I guess you could tell Blue that. Blue, then you would be able to pass that information on to Enya. Well, at some point, that's what I Speak did for you, and you can pass that information on to Enya if you wish. But now you know, Funny Farm seems to be dealing with some kind of strange cloned meat. Perhaps. You would hope.
Does Blue tell Enya?
Yeah, she does.
Enya's gonna, like, her arms are gonna sort of wheel as she falls backwards and catches herself. She's just flabbergasted, like, woolly mammoth meat. What? That can't be right. That's... Why? How? Is that even legal? Is that... She's just really taken aback by this. That was a surprise. We, probably should investigate that, right?
Yeah, that seems pretty strange.
She's gonna, like, put a fist in her hand and kind of, like, enthusiastically, like, tap her palm. What am I saying? Of course we should investigate that. No one's complained, but that's... Oh, by the way, it was mentioned that coral steel was found in that meat, right?
Yes, I think.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the group chat, the Aqua group chat.
Yeah. So Enya's gonna be all fired up about this. She's gonna, like, go to the different, like, desks that everyone's at and go like, hey, so, you wanna come check out the Funny Farm? You do, right? Right? She's looking at Mikey. And then she's gonna turn around and go to Towner's, like, spot. I'm assuming he has a desk, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Hey, Towner! You wanna go check out the Funny Farm, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, great. Sounds like you're in. And then she's gonna, like, cycle back to Blue. Blue, I got your, like, she's holding up a thumbs up. You're going, right? Yeah?
So people at Funny Farm wouldn't necessarily recognize her, right?
No, you've never, like I said, you've never met any of them directly, so probably not.
Yeah, I'll come along.
Great. Alright. And then she's gonna, like, make a beeline for Claudia's desk. Hey, Claudia! What do you think about, visiting the Funny Farm, hey?
She loves it. I don't know. You there? Claudia?
Hey, I'll get back to you.
She died.
Basically, Enya's gonna, she actually wants to do this, like, incognito first, like, go in not as cops.
Oh, you guys are gonna do disguises?
Yeah, well, she wants
I was
to.
actually going to ask about that. Since we can control all aspect of our body, can we actually do some level of shape shifting?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
You can't do it for very long. You have, like, a form that's more familiar and one you're more. It's like flexing a muscle. So it's like it'd be like walking on your tiptoes. Like, sure, you can do it, and some people even wear heels, so they're used to, like, having two different identities. But it's still uncomfortable, and being in your own, like, human form is already kind of uncomfortable. So it's not uncomfortable, but it is like a constant. It's like, people get tension headaches because they flex sometimes, like, they're at their temples without realizing it. Yeah, it's kind of like that sometimes.
Yeah, like wearing clothes that are too small but not changing out.
Right.
Yeah, so, in Enya's mind, she's thinking they go order some meat and sort of, like, maybe ask some real casual questions and then come in as, like, cops to investigate if she has, like, something real.
So you go to the Funny Farm store shop at the docks. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
You do. Then, in that case, the actual Funny Farm area office thing is small. It looks like there is a section in the back that leads down to a basement, because you can see there's a door on the back of it, like a cellar door kind of setup. Not uncommon with dockside businesses that take shipments. It it has the small or the two side doors that open up, big metal doors, go down into a basement holding area. The actual top building itself, the front facing section of the funny farm, is just kind of like a box, like a black box with a single door, and it has one window, and in the window is like a artificial flower, just a fake waxy looking yellow kind of flower. You want to go inside of the building with how many of you are going in? Like all of you?
Just a suspiciously large crowd of people here to buy meat.
Yeah, I guess that is a little weird. You know what? Anya's gonna like hang back and sort of scope out the building if 3 of you want to go in. I'm thinking, I guess Blue wouldn't want to go in, but she wouldn't say anything, so I'm gonna say Mikey, Blue, and Towner can go in and act like normal people, not
Okay.
cops.
So Mikey, Blue, and Towner, you guys can all go. How do you take your approach inside of the building? Like, do you just like waltz in like you're just normal people? Do you? Well, what do you want to do to kind of like get a feel for it? Like, or do you, like I said, do you just like go in?
We gotta go in disguise, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you don't have to go in. You can just go in however you want, honestly. But it's up to you guys.
I think Mikey would put on a disguise.
I think
Or,
Towner
like,
would
change
too.
himself. Yeah, or change himself in some way then.
Okay, what's Towner's disguise out of curiosity?
Okay, he's got on some cargo shorts,
Mm-hmm.
a Hawaiian shirt, sunglasses, and a big fake mustache. He is still a shark.
And what is Mikey's disguise?
Probably almost, I was gonna say almost the exact same thing, but just like no fake mustache. But like he's probably also like brought himself, like he's probably condensed himself, so he's probably a little bit shorter. He looks like a little bit pudgier, like shorter limbs, like he's kind of retracted in so that he looks different. And then he's probably like pulled his hair up, and like he's probably wearing a different hat, like it's not his normal like bucket hat.
Right.
Actually, I'll say it's a baseball cap, and he's got his hair pulled back into like a ponytail through the back end of the hat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Blue, what kind of disguise are you wearing?
I guess she'd kind of dress in like more casual clothing, like a plaid button down, or I don't know, and like and then like part her hair like differently.
Okay.
And like, yeah.
Okay, so you just go into the box office with your disguises on?
Yeah,
Three
why
of
not?
you? Okay. First of all, there are 2 chairs off to the side. There's one small boxy desk with a figure sitting behind it who is not really moving. They do tilt their head towards you to look at you when you enter.
By the way, can I say that Anya gave them instructions on sort of like feel out the staff, how big is the staff? Everyone orders something and then take like a doggy bag to go. And I guess that's all you can like kind of casually do for now as just customers. But like, you know, if there's anything that's noteworthy, that's all.
This is the figure that's seated behind the desk. It kind of just sits there.
I think the figure token is behind the city gift.
Oh,
Correct.
Yeah,
who
I can
sees
see
that?
just
There
the
you go.
edges of it. Okay. Oh no, it's on them Tesla bots.
It is a Tesla bot.
over here.
Is that not the robot from the day the Earth stood still?
Nope, it's a Tesla robot.
Oh, okay.
It's roughly the same thing in terms of how important it is, and
Oh, so, okay. Tesla has come out with a robot. I didn't realize.
I use air quotes when I say robot because they brought it out on stage and it was a dude in a suit.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a guy in like one of those like spandex suits, like green screen suits.
He's like, "We promise, I'm a robot."
Well, I don't think they had it talk, but they had it like dance, and they're like, "There it is, everybody."
that's not a robot.
I hope they said this
mean-
is a placeholder. Stay tuned.
Was it a prank?
Well, this is a placeholder because yeah, but for now, was it a prank?
No, it wasn't.
But yeah, this is the figure that is like sitting in the at the desk in Funny Farm. They are the only person in the office. There is a computer in front of them. The computer is unplugged. There are a stack of papers next to them. The papers just have Lorem Ipsum written on it. There is a half-eaten sandwich, but give me a gaze roll, Mikey, about the sandwich. Something about it is odd. It's a fake sandwich. It's plastic. It doesn't
Okay.
seem to be saying anything. Which one of you wants to approach or address it? It's not speaking.
Hello, good sir. I would like to buy some meat.
The robot stands up immediately from the desk. Oh, hello. Are you a customer?
Yes.
How much meat?
A lot.
How much is a lot? Please quantify meat.
How much you got?
Endless amounts of meat. How much meat do you want?
He looks at the others like, what do we want? Like 500,000 pounds?
I think we should get at least a pound first to try it. See if it's
Would-
good stuff, you know?
Would you like the sampler pack of meat?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yes.
Perfect.
2 of them.
2 sampler packs of meat. For the cops. It walks into the back room.
Thank you.
It returns with 2 cases and puts them down. Here you are.
Is it like wrapped up or on a plate
It's just
or
in
what is?
black plastic cases that are contained within sections. They just say Funny Farm kind of like on the case in a very strange type of paper. It seems to be kind of crinkling as it's sitting there, the paper. And then the longer you sit there and look at it, the more the paper is crinkling as if it's starting to disintegrate.
Oh,
Enjoy your sampler packs of meat. We have endless meat. Please choose the meat that you like and you will have meat. Order by phone or online.
you know that trope of like someone's buying cocaine and they take a knife and like cut open the package and take out some and eat it and they're like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, do
John
you do
does that with the meat.
The the robot stands there and watches you do this, and then says, "Is everything to your satisfaction with this sampler pack of meat?"
I mean, is it meat? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how meat is it?
Oh, it's extremely meat. It tastes like nothing you've ever. Well, that's not true. There's a chance that how long has John spent like in the water? Like before he came to be like a citizen of Guam and become a cop. Like how long did he spend like in the ocean?
Average amount, I guess.
It's a couple of years, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. In the span of a couple of years, it's likely that you, as a predator, a pretty large predator, have run into either other merm folk or just strange aquatic life that tastes. The only way to describe it is ancient. There are definitely seaborne life forms and aquatic life that, over the course of however many millions, tens of millions of years, have not evolved much past the very ancient state in which they were in. Sometimes during a Jurassic period, or you know, that sort of thing. One of the best examples, yeah, lampreys are an example. Horseshoe crabs, that sort of thing. They have what can only be described as an old kind of texture to the protein, very unevolved, yet still highly functional and often very dangerous type of life to them. This tastes like that, except it's closer to something that you like, which is land meat.
Oh,
This, in other words, if you were to, well, how smart is Towner?
probably average or slightly below average.
Okay, well, if you combine if you combine the ancient taste with the fact that it tastes like it's from the land, the only conclusion you can come from, this isn't like the sausage from before. This could be dinosaur meat.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. This stuff's good. Yeah, we're good.
Good. How much of the meat would you like?
He looks at the others like, please, can we get more?
That's I mean, that's on your budget. I don't think we can expense it if you're gonna keep it. Like, and he's still like compacted in. He hasn't broken his shape yet.
Uh, uh, John will take out his wallet or whatever passes for a wallet in the future. I'll take 50 pounds.
Would you like more than 50 pounds?
I mean, yeah, but like I gotta pay bills and stuff. But
Would you like 1,000 pounds of dinosaur meat?
I mean, how much is it?
For you today, it is free of charge. You could walk out the door with 1,000 pounds of dinosaur meat. You only need to open credit with us. Would you like to know more?
Yes.
By opening a line of credit with Funny Farm Limited, you will be entitled to at least 20 pounds of dinosaur meat per day. However, the terms must be reviewed, so please listen carefully to the next section of the Funny Farm Limited credit program. You will receive approximately 20 pounds of dinosaur meat or a substitute meat of your choosing every day for 90 days. You will also be charged at the end of this period with a 2,476% interest rate. Once that credit period has ended, we will then readjust your interest rate. The review for the interest rate will likely be determined by the amount of dinosaur meat that you have consumed. If you have consumed every ounce of dinosaur meat or substitute meat that has been provided, then you will receive a higher interest rate. Consequently, this credit cannot be discharged through bankruptcy and will continue to persist even after your death. Would you like to order 1,000 pounds of dinosaur meat?
Can I get that like in writing?
Yes. The robot, like their faceplate kind of tilts up and forward, and then you hear printing sounds as a stream of paper begins to just issue forth from inside of their head.
He takes it and like looks at it and is like, can I think about it?
Yes, but act now and you will receive 5 additional pounds of rare dodo meat, barbecue flavor.
He like slaps his hand on the table and looks at the other two. Is like, you gotta get me out of here. Please get me out of here.
Okay, buddy, let's go. I mean, let's go. Dang it. And he just starts pushing him.
Okay, I will see you members of the police force later. Thank you for coming to Funny Farm, a Doribo derivative company. And it sits down.
Okay, well, meanwhile, outside, Anya was trying to see if there was security, like, around the building at all. and if she could like locate the receiving door, and maybe if there was like a sign posted for like receiving hours.
Sure. Are you looking to infiltrate the facility?
Not. She's not very stealthy, so no. She's just trying to like, like do 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 do. What's the security like? Do do do. Trying to act cool.
There is a sign posted about receiving hours, but instead of time, there are only 2 eyes that are drawn beneath the words receiving hours. 2 eyes that are just very simply drawn. They look like icons or vector graphics.
Like eyeballs? Like eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's not. That's weird. Okay. Is the building just like empty outside for the most part? Like just no people? Just
Yeah, there's nobody there.
okay. Well, that's. She's gonna meet up with the others who I assume are back out.
Mm-hmm. I assume so. Like you guys all just like left, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Okay.
how'd it go in there? Did you all order food?
Yes, and yes. But it didn't go well.
What do you mean? How could it possibly go not well?
I guess the robot who's handling all the everything inside, it knew that we were the cops.
There's a robot?
Yeah, it's a Dorobo robot.
Huh. So, do you think that they happen to have enough money to buy a Dorobo robot?
No, I mean the robot said that the Funny Farm was a derivative of Dorobo, so.
Oh. Well,
So
that...
this place is definitely run by them.
Huh. That's pretty informative, actually. All right.
It also knew exactly who we were, despite the fact we were disguised. I mean, some better than others, but still, it saw exactly through us.
Oh, wow, that's a really perceptive robot. She's looking at them. I don't even know what would give it away. You all look pretty, different to me. Like what you did with the hair, Blue.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like a facial scan. I don't know.
Or maybe, well, maybe that, or it was like a molecular scan. It would still know we're us, no matter what we look like.
This is a little touchy. We're sort of skirting what's considered criminal law and what might be more in the domain of, I don't know, private? She's gonna ring Ice Peak.
Huh?
Hey,
This is
doctor.
the morgue. Yes.
Got a question.
Begin.
So, you determined that it was Woolly Mammoth, right?
Huh?
Would that be a problem if, let's say there was an unpublished Woolly Mammoth somewhere?
What are the laws about animal trade?
Well, you're not allowed to sell cloned meat. That's for sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, then she would be like, this is likely cloned meat, and that is technically illegal, though not particularly harmful, especially to our kind, but the humans may find digestion issues, or it's not exactly approved.
Well, we're over at the Funny Farm, and turns out it's a Dorba-owned establishment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so I think it's worth at least calling Dorbo to see about this woolly mammoth meat now that we've identified it.
So they may threaten me with curses once more. Fine, I will attempt.
Ah, great. We should go to the chief about this, right? Really officially open a case.
If you think cloned meat is worth your time.
Well, I do think it's interesting that it... Yeah, you know what? I do think it's worth my time.
As you wish, talk to the chief. I will be busy with dead bodies.
Yeah, like usual. Gotcha. Thanks, I speak.
Bring me samples.
Okay.
And then hang up.
Actually, I did have a question. John brought it up in chat. But why is cloned meat illegal?
Why is cloned meat illegal? Well, the issue comes largely with the. It was initially a very legal, thriving trade, but with the rise in various pathogens that seem to occur roughly after 2011 in this timeline, we'll say some point probably like 2030, 2040-ish, around the time when ELO was like, we need to figure out how to get to the moon and get the fuck off this rock. One of the problems was there was like a big clone meat plague of sorts. Just a lot of disease that was getting through it and very easily, readily being replicated within humans. As a result, clone meat was considered to be hazardous until medicine could catch up with unforeseen threats like that. So, as a result, I mean, it's still, that was like what could be considered a one-off event for the most part, but and there are still nations that just have cloned meat factories and don't give a shit about it. But it's kind of treated like, you know, like, hey, don't do it. Don't, and also you shouldn't sell or trade or ship it. But, you know, everybody's probably got some cloned meat somewhere to like fill up the food stores, you know. Generally speaking, Guam is pretty hard about cracking down on that sort of thing because of the fact that they want to be seen as legitimate as a nation that's rising up in prominence economically. Like, whereas once people probably would have just looked the other way about clone meat, now they like generally just, you're found to be selling clone meat, they usually try to shut you down, or it's something for food inspectors to take care of, not exactly like for Aqua to worry about.
Actually, we could address that because Enya wants to go talk to the chief. So, fast forward.
Sure, that's generally what the chief would tell you. You know,
that it's not Aqua's jurisdiction.
Yeah. Say, you know, he'd say like, if you want to you know, look into cloned meat, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to become an inspector, and I hear the pay is decent, and they got decent vacation time, and you know. Otherwise, I don't know why you care so much. I ate cloned meat the other day, you know.
It might be for something that's, well, extinct. I think that might be a sign of some sort of illegal trading.
Oh, wait, what do you mean extinct? Like the buffalo? Or...
I speak analyzed it.
Koala?
Woolly mammoth.
What? Where did you get woolly mammoth meat?
Well, from this, I guess it's a restaurant. But, the Funny
What's
Farm.
it called? Funny Farm. Okay. He starts writing it down on a piece of paper. And where is that located?
It's near the docks.
Near the docks, okay. And what is the price of that?
Hey, I don't know if you're taking me serious, Chief.
What do you mean?
Well, I just don't understand why the price would be relevant.
As for the records, I should know. You know, just because you know, I take this I know what I said earlier. Forget everything I said. I take this very seriously. If you said there's a place selling mammoths, I have to find out for sure. It's very serious. So, yeah, do they do cuts? Do I just have to order the whole primal and then break it down myself? Do they deliver? Do they do marinated versions?
I'm
takes
sure
time.
that Towner and Mikey and Blue might have more insight on the whole menu. Look, Chief, there was also a foreign object found in something that they were serving there. Coral steel.
What? Coral steel. Why would that be in with the delicious mammoth meat? I don't understand.
Yeah, right. It shouldn't have any sort of... It shouldn't be anywhere near any meat.
He kind of like thinks about it carefully, taps a pen against the desk. He balls up the piece of paper. Looks like I won't be ordering from this place until an investigation is going to be held, because if you found coral steel in some meat, and the meat is illegal, that means you're probably looking at a sort of front operation for smuggling.
She's nodding enthusiastically. Yeah.
But if someone were to lose the piece of coral steel, then we wouldn't know that they were smuggling, and then I could place an order with the funny farms. I could get the... He starts scratching his cheek. Let's get the nice mammoth burger or steak.
She's starting to sweat, but she's still like smiling enthusiastically at him.
Nah, that was a joke.
Oh, yeah. I can recognize the joke, yeah.
Because this is an issue involving coral steel, I say it falls within Aqua's purview to look into it. Coral steel is our main import from Atlantis, and one of the reasons why Guam is what it is today. So, if someone's smuggling coral steel, it's probably a big deal. It's taking a cut out of somebody's wallet. Could look good for me. He starts rubbing his cheek again. Take care of my retirement fund, then I could probably get as many mammoth burgers as I ever wanted. Well, I trust that you will close the case quickly and solve the coral steel that fell off the back of the truck, or however the hell it's getting into the meat. I don't know.
Yeah, just okay it and we'll be on it, Chief.
Sure, I'll okay it, but there is one thing that I wanted to warn you about.
She's wincing a little. Yeah?
When it comes to something like this, where there's a front operation for another one, and the front operation is one that's already illegal, you just have to be a little bit careful. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if you sniffed it out this quickly, they probably left it out on purpose. So...
I'm gonna say that it's balls, considering we found out the funny farm is owned by Dorbo, and, well, Valentine's have their hands in the coral steel presently. They'd want to know if anyone was, well, getting their hands in the pie, right? But, it's for us to investigate, after all.
Indeed. Well, I leave it up to you, but if Stella Maris gets burned down because of something that you did involving dinosaur meat, leave me out of the history books. I wasn't here.
Okay, Chief. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You'll get a report sooner than later.
Leave my office.
Yes, sir. She's moving.
The chief waits for you to leave and then quickly unballs a piece of paper. Funny farm. The only thing that's going to be funny is how much I'm going to laugh when I'm eating a mammoth burger. Ooh, or a single mammoth rib. Feed me for a week.
God, he's really stuck on that. So hungry.
So now you have sort of a case going on. You have other preparations that you can make or other research that you can do into this matter before you decide ultimately how you want to approach it. For example, Claudia is kind of like she's your social connection. She can reach out to find out more about the Funny Farm shipments or anybody that might be receiving these vendor deliveries.
Yeah, in fact, she could probably just call Dorobo directly and ask about the funny farm. Or like someone, maybe the owner of the operation.
I don't know if Claudia wants to call them directly after considering last time what happened. It's up to you.
I mean, she'll probably call around, and if there's no, like, if there's nothing really concrete coming up from the streets, kind of, or anywhere she frequents, she'll probably call them up. I mean,
Okay, give me a secret sniffer roll against passive difficulty of 4. This is for kind of like getting information off of the street, and if you don't need a 4, don't worry about it. You'll still learn something.
oh,
Ooh! Do you want to invoke, or do you want to just let it roll at a -1?
I am going to invoke and reroll that. No way it can get worse than that.
Yeah, true. Well, that's not true. You could get 4 negatives, but go ahead.
It's
What do you
unlikely.
invoke? Seeking out secrets seems pretty.
Yep.
Okay. 2. Okay, that'll work. Put a 2. You find that there are people in sort of like you're pretty good in the trenches, right? Like that's dealing with like kind of the downtrodden or like the working class merfolk. You probably have like decent connections there, especially because you and the Aqua group have been doing like good social work with the House of the Rising Sun. I'd say they're probably like not exactly chilly to you and the others, at least not right now. Although rising presence of Dagonite influence, you will notice as you are kind of like searching around for information or just calling around, has made people very cautious. They don't seem to be cautious towards you, just cautious in general. Because a lot of people that aren't Dagonites and are merfolk are scared of Dagonites sometimes. Like, they're weird, they're hardliners, and it's, it's off-putting. So, in a way, speaking to someone like you is like a breath of fresh air. And for that reason, they are definitely willing to share what information they have. They tell you that Funny Farms sells meat at a very reasonable price, and people seem to really like it, which makes it easier for vendors within the trenches to get like a decent supply without getting their fucking arms twisted by the human meat vendors that try to jack up the price sometimes twice or even 3 times as much as what other people are like paying per pound for things like beef or chicken. Makes it difficult, or has made it difficult, for vendors in the trenches to do anything other than seafood. But with this Funny Farm illegal cloned meat, as you know it to be, they're able to offer people in the trenches a more varied diet, which some actually appreciate. Although seafood still remains kind of, very popular. You're a person of the sea. It's kind of the flavor you want sometimes, but sometimes you want something that makes it worthwhile to come on land, on ground, and that is what Funny Farm is helping these vendors to deliver. So generally, the opinion seems to be positive about Funny Farms among vendors that you speak to. They say the deliveries are prompt. They haven't had any issues. The prices are extremely reasonable. Some even say a little too cheap, but like suspiciously cheap. But other than that, yeah, generally a positive attitude.
What times do they usually get their deliveries?
Oh, they say that well, as far as deliveries go, the meat shipments are delivered at what is called the witching hour. They're not exactly sure who delivers it. They only hear sometimes a dry cackle or what sounds like a child crying, and they open their door, and there's a box of meat outside.
They don't see a child crying; they just see them.
Well, one vendor recounts that the following. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, see, one time I got a shipment. It's the same as usual. It's a cat meowing. I went to the door. I opened it. I was surprised. There's nobody there. Just a box of meat, right? But then I look around the corner and I see this girl that I used to go out with. She's a human, but she kind of liked me. We was kind of sweet on each other for a while. So, I said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Martina, and she said, that there's an endless desert with an endless ocean and a tide of blood. And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about, lady? Come on. You want to go grab a bite to eat? And then her eyes started bleeding. And I was like, whoa, that's weird for humans to suddenly their eyes to start bleeding. Then she turned and ran faster than I'd ever seen a person ran before in my life. And then she hit a wall but went right through it. Like she wasn't even there. You know, like some kind of projection. As humans are real weird sometimes, you know, they do crazy stuff. I don't know. Yeah, my team was pretty wild. Give a call sometime. Thanks for reminding me.
Of course. You have had no problems with this. No reports of people getting sick from it, or maybe more compliments, like spicier than usual, or anything like that.
Yeah, people seem to generally have a pretty good opinion of it. I mean, most of the time, people ask for, what the secret ingredient is or whatever, and I can't really, can't really tell them. I'll get in trouble with like the authorities. I don't mind telling you because I had a friend who was in that House of the Rising Sun. So you did good. You guys did good cleaning it up. I don't mind telling you, but just don't. Okay, I don't gotta let you. Don't shake me down for cash or nothing. I'm just saying.
You don't have to worry about that. I just want to make sure this meat is getting to people who really need it and like it, and that they're not getting sick by it or anything.
No, nobody's really gotten sick or nothing. It's actually pretty. Believe it or not. Okay, look, I work in the kitchen. I got the belly of a catfish, so I know parasites and all sorts of bacteria when I try them. Clone meat's actually cleaner than the stuff we buy from the other vendors. Like a lot cleaner. Like a lot cleaner.
Sure, you have no problems with that. That's good.
Stuff like E. coli doesn't really affect us, but like there are different parasites that get in this stuff and kind of do a number sometimes. This stuff, no, nothing like that. It's actually quite nice. So steal. I feel like a thief. Lock me up for theft, huh? No, I'm kidding. Please don't lock me up. I got a business to run.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna lock you up for anything. We're just trying to find out about this meeting to make sure it's all above water.
Okay, well, then it is. And are you gonna shut down Funny Farm? Because I gotta project into the next month that happens. You don't gotta tell me as a head. Ooh, do I have an inside connection into the police department? All right, here, I'll tell you what. Free lunch for a week at my place. Rigatoni Ravioli. That's the name of the shop. Free lunch for a week. If you tell me right now that you're gonna bust Funny Farm, because if you tell me you're gonna bust Funny Farm, then I can order a bunch of Funny Farm meat before you do, and that'll put me above the competition. Finally, that bastard Spaghetti Sal down the street, he's finito, done, over. I'm gonna eat his lunch, and you're gonna eat your lunch for free. You tell me right now. I have nothing to threaten you with. So all I have is the delicious meal.
We are not going to bust or break up Funny Farms. At least within the next month.
Okay, I can't see. Are you winking when you say that, or are you just saying that flatly?
I'm saying it flatly. I'll be honest with you. If we were, we would let some of you know ahead of time. But
not all of us.
Of course.
No, not Spaghetti Sal. Don't tell him, that bastard.
Of course not. Thank you for your time.
Okay. All right, fine. He seems a little frustrated that you haven't given him the competitive edge that he was looking for, but otherwise, he's provided you with the information that you were looking for. It seems that the Funny Farm cloned meat is actually better for your community than the legitimately acquired stuff.
Should probably relay this to Enya and the rest. I mean, it seems like they're up on they're on the level, at least as far as legally goes.
Ah, cleaner. That's okay, noted. That seems good. Not like it was, it's probably not a problem. Hey, we do still need to find out who the meat distributor is.
Right. Did they tell us who the meat distributor was?
A ghost.
Like
Besides
who
the
actually delivers it? It seems to be a ghost.
A ghost.
Yeah, there's conflicting reports about who delivers it exactly. Sometimes they hear meowing. Other times, ghostly wailing. Um,
Oh,
and they go out. The meat's there, but nothing else is. No one else is there. No big delivery truck that says something like "Funny Farms Incorporated."
that must all be code. Or, well, it sounds really, really shady.
It does, and I asked about if they had any problems with the meat, of course, and like parasites, and yeah, nothing. So whoever's delivering it is somehow keeping it really, really clean, and seems to be no problems with it, and it's like always on time too. It's just cloned.
No, there's gotta be more. Why wouldn't they be more, you know, normal about the delivery? If they weren't trying to hide something.
It could be that, well, maybe they're not trying to hide something so much as it's part of the delivery process.
Huh? What do you mean?
Perhaps they get it from someone or somewhere that maybe doesn't have to go through the same things that regular vendors go through, like the same processes. And maybe this process is a little bit, I hesitate to say supernatural, but everything they said seems to point straight to it.
Okay, so far I followed with the whole being off the books, seeing you were painting there for me, but ghosts?
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't think there's any tire tracks that I've seen from anywhere. They always come at the witching hour. It's all very. It's kind of like something out of a kid's tale for Halloween. Like if you wait at the witching hour, the ghost will deliver a pack of candy to your door. Except this is meat and it's cloned. That's really weird.
So, simultaneously during the witching hours when all the deliveries happen for this product. Well,
I'm not sure if they're all simultaneous, but at least they all happen during the witching hour from the people I've talked to.
alright. That's something to go on for sure. Thanks, Claudia.
Of course.
So, Enya wants to have several of the aqua spread out, and she's gonna look up what this witching hour business is. Like what time it is. Like 3 a.m. probably?
Yes.
Yeah, so she wants to like find different sites that get this vendor in, although she only has the Funny Farm, really, right? Well, no, these other guys that we called up.
You want to just get the location and like stake it out?
Yeah. But
Okay.
like more than one place, like 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's split up who's staking out where. You have 6 people in your unit. You said 3 is what you want to do. We'll do 3. So groups of 2. So we'll have 2 pairs. Sort them out. Who are you gonna team up?
Yeah, you know, the way it is fine. Mikey and Ice Peak and, you know, Towner and Enya, Blue and Claudia.
In that case, we will say that each of your pairs is at a set location, and we will get back to what happens at those locations. You guys will set up, I assume, around the witching hour, or maybe even a little earlier.
Yeah.
And I guess the commercial break bumper is all of you kind of tensely at your different locations, even dramatically holding onto a radio as you peek around the corner. I don't know, ducking into a car so that people can't see you as you stake a place out. That sort of thing. At the many different locations, all of them are kind of like restaurants. Well, no, there's one probably like grocery store, like in the trenches, that is receiving these.
So, the Funny Farm, a grocery store, and...
Are you going to stake out the actual Funny Farm?
Oh, hell yeah.
Maybe Sal's spaghetti? I mean,
Spaghetti Sal. And then what's the last one you want to try to monitor?
The grocery store?
There's your pairs. Get more groceries. I'm so good. Definitely not a real store named Get More. Okay, first one we will cover is Enya and Towner at the Funny Farm Limited actual facility. Roughly around the witching hour, you begin to hear what sound like wind chimes and then a flute. Sounds like the song of a flute.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Enya and Towner split up to cover different parts. She's gonna look around, like, see if she can pinpoint where it's coming from.
Towner, you don't need to give me a roll for this. You can smell blood in the air. It's you are particularly attuned to that because you are a shark. If you'd like to determine more about the blood or where it's coming from, or
Yeah, absolutely.
oh yeah, also yeah, Claudia, you need to go make tea or something. Yeah, you seem to have a bit of a cough. Towner, yes, you do smell blood in the air.
Okay, I'd like to figure out, like, what kind, where is it coming from, that sort of stuff.
Human blood. It seems to be coming from somewhere above you.
Okay, I think Towner would be a smart boy and radio to Enya that he smells human blood before investigating further.
Okay.
What is up from him?
The sky, obviously, and it's hard to say. If you want to try to track it further than up, I will require we'll say, gaze roll. Oh, no. Yeah, you know what? You have a stunt for this, actually. You have sniff it out. In which case, that is a 3, and you pass without needing to invoke.
Yay.
The smell is coming from the roof of the building.
Okay, John looks for, like, I guess like a ladder or a fire escape or something like that.
I'll say you could find a ladder nearby, because there isn't one, for the cost of a fate point. Like,
Okay, I'll pay that.
Okay. Then there is a ladder. It looks rickety, but it could support your weight if you are careful.
Oh god.
The question is, do you want to try to do it quietly, go up to the roof, or do you want to just like kind of go up? It's a more difficult role to do it quietly than it is to just go up.
I think he'll try to do it quietly. Whether he can or not is something else.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a toothy bruiser roll against a pass difficulty of 5.
No.
You want to re-roll? What do you want to do?
No, I'm not gonna re-roll it. That seems natural.
Okay, then the moment you step on the ladder, like, so you, I guess you carefully put the ladder up against the building. You look around. You thinking this is your time to quietly sneak up on your prey. You take the first step on the ladder. It just cracks. The first step just cracks loudly. Yeah. As soon as you put your weight on it. What do you do as soon as that crack happens?
Probably fall on his ass and curse loudly.
Okay. The smell is stronger.
Can he like try again with the second rung, or is it going to do the same thing?
Where are you looking when you're doing this? You looking down at the ladder?
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to fall.
Okay. Yeah, the ladder's still, like, I mean, it's against the building. Second rung, you could try it again. It looks a little more stable.
Okay. I'll say forget being quiet, though. Like, the cat's already out of the bag.
Okay, passive difficulty of 3. Go ahead and give me another Toothy Bruiser roll. Great. You were able to go up the ladder, rung by step, rung by rung. You get second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. When you get to the seventh one, something drips on your head.
Oh, okay. He looks up at it.
Okay, you're kind of like making your way towards the roof. You notice that peeking over the edge of the roof it looks like a bloody woman's head and face just staring down at you.
He stares back up at her, just like frowning at her.
It slowly begins to retract back onto the roof, like just away from your view.
Hey, wait, police, and he'll climb after it.
Okay. Enya, what are you doing while Towner's doing this?
She's gonna stick to her spot, but she's texted him to go find out what that's about, and she's here if he needs help. But she's gonna try to keep an eye on like, sort of like her corner.
Okay. Your corner is sort of near the water. This property has like it faces the water a little bit. You go ahead and give me a gaze roll now. Do it. Against passive difficulty of 3. 1. You can still. I mean, it's a success with some complication. You see something moving sort of out of the water. If you move closer to it and away from where Towner is, you could get a better look at what it is, but otherwise it's only going to be what looks like the vague outline of something. A person, but you're not sure who or what.
Oh. Yeah, she's gonna look over her shoulder real quick in Towner's direction, but she's gonna go investigate that. Because it seems like a fleeting thing.
Okay. You see. Well, Towner, what you see at the top is familiar. The woman's face, how bloody she is. This woman is from a case that you were investigating sometime earlier in your career. This is a woman who was found murdered inside of her own apartment. They never caught who did it, but it was believed to be her her boyfriend who vanished out of Guam. So they're not sure what happened to the guy. They never caught him. He could be in another country. Case was pretty open and shut, and it was humans, so it wasn't really. I mean, back then, maybe. No, I'll say you were probably maybe a part of Aqua at that point. So you might have investigated kind of as it related to the local Mer people community, but it's mostly human, so it never really came up. Still, the kind of like facial expression that she had seemed a bit jarring. Maybe not to you, but to most people. It depends on how hardened Towner is. Her expression was one of confusion when they found her. Not anger, not sadness, not pain, just kind of confusion. And she was found like that, just bloody. And that is the woman that you're looking at right now. Was the victim of that crime.
I'm gonna assume that Towner is a normal person that can remember faces, and he would recognize
Yes.
her.
He has that superpower that you wish.
Yeah, that I wish I had.
Yeah, it's a power fantasy. Yes, Towner would absolutely recognize that face.
Towner squints at her for a second and then frowns and says, "You a ghost? What do you want? You haunting me?"
She holds up a small slip of paper and a pen, and then just shrugs, and then kind of hisses through her teeth.
Gig economy.
So wait, you're a ghost and ghosts do jobs now? Ghost job?
Good pay. Honest wages.
Do you know Poppy?
She holds out a hand and makes a so motion.
Danceable, I guess.
He thinks about this for several seconds and then comes to the conclusion that if she is doing a job, she's technically not doing a crime. Is the human blood smell coming from her?
Yes, she reeks of blood.
I mean, he guesses there's no conceivable reason ghosts can't have job. All right. Carry on then.
Thanks. Will do.
She just goes back to blankly staring off into the distance. The flute song kind of just filling the air, swimming around. And likewise, Enya, you see something in the water, and upon getting closer, you also recognize that as being it's a dead person as well. It was the victim of a hit and run accident. Again, whoever hit them was never caught, and it was kind of just quickly swept under the rug. I mean, just some normal person crossing the street at the wrong time. And that's the ghost of this person that's walking out of the water.
Oh, they're walking.
Yeah.
She's taken aback by that. She's gonna hold out a hand, like, with hesitation, and say, excuse me?
The figure stops at the shore and slowly turns.
You look familiar. Are you from around these parts?
It kind of rolls its eyes back into its head, and then you hear a sound as it seems to just vanish in the blink of an eye, and then is standing behind you, staring wide-eyed, with kind of yellowed, wet, almost bulging eyes in its head. This thing that wears skin and like clothes almost. And those clothes too are like seemingly not necessarily wet, but hanging as if they are not totally dry off of a rack. This thing, this dead thing, you can tell by the proximity. It looks as dead can be, but it is staring at you.
She's a little chilled at this, but she slowly turns herself around. Hey, I'm not here to cause any problems. I'm sure you aren't either.
What is it you want?
Oh, I just was in the area, out for a walk. You are here as well for the same thing?
I was out for a walk once and somebody drove through the intersection at twice the speed that they should have been traveling. Their vehicle crashed within my body and destroyed my bones, my skull, my rib cage, even the pinky fingers.
He holds up his hand, revealing that his pinky finger is hanging off loosely with no bones inside, like as if it were just a wet noodle.
She stiffens up and gulps a little. Oh, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Does it still hurt?
Every day of my existence is pain.
Oh wow. I have no idea what that could be like. Are you just rewalking the path?
I was. For some time I was. But then I got a job in the gig economy.
What?
And now I'm gainfully employed.
She looks really stupefied. Did you just say a gig economy job?
Yes, at the witching hour we are to deliver goods across the city.
Okay, I can understand the need for something productive to do, but why a job? How do you get paid?
We are paid in promises.
It nods enthusiastically.
Promises sound really nice, but what does that mean exactly?
Once we serve for long enough, we will go to heaven. We only need to deliver these for a few years, and then we will go to paradise.
Oh,
It nods again.
I can see why you would pick up this job. Who do you work for, if you don't mind my asking?
The master.
How do I find the master?
He has a business card. Would you like the card?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would love to keep him in mind for whenever I, also am in a predicament like yourself.
He slowly, shakily removes a card from his tattered clothing. And you can see that it's printed on a strange sort of paper and that there's Japanese characters on it.
Yes. You will also join the gig economy in time.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And she's gonna take it with
Oh.
hesitation.
You're going to want to roll gaze before you take that card. Yeah, okay, you can take it. Sure, it's fine. Normal card.
Haha, rip.
Okay. The card has the name Sunny Fortuna on it.
In my head, I just picture, like, Enya just suddenly, about to curse, but then there's, like, a cutaway.
Okay. Yeah, we'll determine that in a moment. Don't worry. On to the second team of at Spaghetti Sal's, Claudia and Blue. Claudia and Blue, I'll say of the two of you, Blue's kind of the hard-boiled detective of the pair, so it's likely Blue has more experience with stakeouts. I'd say, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sounds right.
Okay. We'll say that for making preparations and proper placement and everything and protocol, go ahead and give me a hard-boiled roll, Blue, against a passive opposition of, we'll say 3. It's not a particularly difficult case or stakeout. It's just a matter of like it's unusual to just you probably have eaten at Sal's restaurant. He's just a kind of a dirtbag Italian food like restaurant guy. It's not like a it's just weird to be like staking them out. You're able to make proper preparations though, which means that that's like a create an advantage roll. So whatever you need to do next turn, either one of you can just add a +2 to it because Blue's experience in this matter has allowed you to set up properly, avoiding detection or being at a good angle to like view things as they happen. Spaghetti Sal closes around midnight, so 3 a.m. You know, it's probably after people have cleaned up and are like closing, getting ready to leave. Most of them, including Spaghetti Sal himself. Although everyone leaves at a certain point, Spaghetti Sal stays behind. And eventually, if you are staying out the receiving area, which I assume you are, um, you hear chimes and a flute playing, and then something seems to be moving with the wind, but it's hard to tell what because it's dark out, and even for enhanced eyes, such as either one of you have, these are strange things moving in the shadows. They are not necessarily alive. Not exactly your field of expertise. Either one of you, whichever one of you wants to do it, can roll a gaze roll. Who has a higher gaze? Well, it looks like Claudia does. To see if you can determine what it is that's moving.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, with that roll, you are able to see that what you are looking at is what looks to be a snake or something. It's long and it's slithering down a wall, and it has what looks like a case in its mouth.
Hmm. So it's just a snake.
Looks like the outline of a snake, yeah.
Okay. Where is it? Where specifically is it headed to? Is it like heading where Sal is, or we see Sal?
At the receiving area of Spaghetti Sal's restaurant. So Spaghetti Sal is in there waiting, but he hasn't opened the door. He actually, if you were to look through a window or see him, he seems to be holding a candle and muttering and rocking back and forth. Occasionally, he'll splash himself with a little bit of water. You can hear him kind of cry softly.
Ooh, that doesn't sound like someone who likes doing this.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds scared or tired.
No, he sounds very scared. He sounds extremely scared.
Definitely sounds like he ain't looking forward to this delivery, none.
The snake shape kind of gently releases the case near the receiving area door, and then slaps its head or something like that against the door twice, and then begins to rewind back around the corner where it was coming from, just slowly pulling away, retracting. Is there anything either one of you would like to do to anything involving that, or let it go?
I was thinking of maybe putting an ambush for it, kind of like as it goes around the corner.
Okay. You want to
Kinda like-
ambush it?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So if you go around the corner, see where it's unwinding to or rewinding to, you'll notice that it is very long. Extremely long. And thankfully, going around the corner, you're able to see two things. Part of its long body. It's not a snake. It's a neck. And B, it looks to be, well, human skin, kind of. And it's just kind of winding its way through multiple buildings.
Okay.
But it doesn't have limbs. It's just.
Oh, well, that's the thing about it. You don't see the other end of it. if you want to get a better look at it, you're gonna try to have to look at the head. But if you try to look at the head, it's probably gonna see you.
Mm. What about? Hmm. I was thinking maybe trying to catch a snapshot of the heads without,
Oh, you want to try to take a picture of the head?
yeah, without like potentially exposing us too
Okay,
easily.
you go ahead.
I might. Oh, sorry.
Hmm?
Oh,
I was almost thinking maybe if I use blind, that could allow us to take a photo.
Oh, you want to use blind against it? Interesting.
But I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Oh, it's up to you guys. What do you want to do? Um, taking a photo is one option.
Because
Blinding is another.
I don't think we'd be able to like get away fast enough if I did that and it ended up being aggressive.
I mean, it is kind of exposing its own head here. So perhaps blinding it and then taking the photo, or just blinding it to get a good look at it, might be a smart decision
Okay, go
without
ahead and roll
exposing us.
roll to blind it if you want. Okay. With a 5, how do you blind it?
Well, I mean, I guess I run up behind it. I mean, and then, you know, do my thing where I light up.
Okay. Do you just run behind it? Do you well, yeah, it has to be looking at you. So,
Well, hopefully, Claudia and I would have maybe talked about like how she's gonna get the photo while I'm doing this.
okay. So you blind it. You run, I guess, around to blind it with Claudia about to take a picture. What you see is what looks like a Japanese woman's head. Kind of pretty. It sees you. It goes to say something. Um, and then it's blinded, so it just starts screaming instead. um, Claudia, you want to take a picture of it?
Yes.
Okay. Um, your picture is what looks like an old World War II era style wedding photo, black and white photo of a woman and a man standing together. The man's face has been burned out, and the woman's just kind of like looking at it. The husband in the burned out face, like and smiling. The picture starts to kind of distort a little. Meanwhile, this thing, once it's blinded, it whips and flails around wildly until the head detaches and kind of just drifts off into the night like a balloon.
Oh.
It's screaming the whole time, of course.
Hmm. Okay. Uh,
And what's
that
the body's just the rest of the body's just lying there.
Yeah, well, the rest of the body is still flailing around, actually. Just kind of whipping around uselessly.
I'll take more photos of the body.
You kind of get the same photo that you got before, except the
Mhm.
woman in the picture is slowly turning her face towards you with
Uh,
every passing frame.
okay.
Uh-oh.
I I regret my decisions.
I mean, she could have been like easy to talk to like the other ghosts, but you didn't know, and it's kind of a creepy
Look,
looking thing.
look, a foot long neck. Uh, I don't want to talk to that ghost, or at least maybe it's not. Plus, it it does seem like she's not a ghost. It's Sal likes. So, you know,
Right, he was terrified.
Okay. Um, Claudia, something shoves you over.
okay.
You just hear a voice kind of in coarse Japanese, like just demanding something of you. You can. I'm going to say you have a very rough understanding of Japanese just because of your, like, your abilities as a mermaid. So you can sort of understand what it's saying. And what it's saying is, why did you do that? My wife is crying. It seems upset.
She will turn around and say, "I'm sorry. You, but, your wife was delivering a weird package, and uh, Sal was crying, looking terrified, and in her best attempt at Japanese, which probably comes off as a foreigner trying to speak Japanese, really. So,
Yeah, it's gonna hear this. It's invisible, whatever it is. But then it slowly begins to apparate, like just appear before you. It looks like it has a burned out head, whatever it is, almost like a used matchstick, and kind of a pretty stocky body. And it just goes, I'll be filing a complaint. You.
okay.
Badge number.
File the complaint with the appropriate office in the morning.
Give me your badge number.
She'll give the give him the badge number.
Thou art cursed. The grudge will persist until this issue is resolved.
To be fair, you are terrifying customers with your presence here, sir.
That's discrimination.
It is not discrimination. It is just, honestly, if you would explain why you're doing this way, it would help us understand what the problem is to help fix it.
Yeah, the figure explodes into a cloud of locusts.
Sir, I can't
Right.
talk to you if you are turning into locusts.
They just disperse. Yeah. Blue, go ahead and give me a gaze roll. With the one, you can sort of see vaguely the outline of a woman's head floating far off into the distance. You can even slightly hear.
Is she floating towards Funny Farm?
No, she's just floating up into the sky,
Okay.
just like a balloon. She's pretty far gone in the time with the confrontation with her husband. It seems that she's gotten away. But it seems there are locusts flying towards her. Strangely, a cloud of locusts just trying to chase after a balloon.
Well, oh, the locusts are going after
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Cute. But the picture shows her full face.
It does.
Okay.
Okay. And so that is what happened at Spaghetti Sal's. And for the last one, which is Ice Peak and Mikey, the delivery at the grocery store seems somewhat normal. There is an issue, sort of. that the guy receiving it kind of seems sketchy. Doesn't look like a normal grocery store worker. A lot of tattoos, pretty rough, well built. Um, he's just kind of waiting there uh, with something in his coat, um, smoking a cigarette. The delivery arrives. Um, it is a coffin that is sliding along on the ground. It opens. A case is thrown out of the coffin. The coffin closes, and then the coffin just starts sliding away.
Do we hear the flutes?
Yes, you do hear flutes and bell chimes and everything.
May I try? Is it from a specific location?
Um,
Can I track down the flutes?
You can certainly try. You do have Mikey here as well. He's an eye scout. He is pretty good at tracking things, scouting things. It's kind of what he was built for, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll turn to Mikey and say, "Ignore the coffin. Find the flutes."
I mean, hearing isn't really my thing, but you got it. And I guess I'll try and figure out where the flute is and go after it.
Okay. Let's give a roll real quick.
I stick a lamprey on his shoulder.
It is currently a new moon. It is a black moon. So yeah. While you can't necessarily, like, hearing isn't your thing, there is a certain quality to the air right now, and hearing, you can sort of pick up on the rhythm of the flute play a little better to catch like some music. If you want to spend a fate point, you can lock in on where the flute sound is coming from. Doing so may have some sort of consequence or reaction at this point, but you have this, as a person who's from the ocean, there's a strange tidal alignment that you're aware of. This is one of those moments.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll use my scout bloodline because it lets me gain an instant understanding of space or the location you're currently in.
Okay.
Reveals scene aspects.
Yes, good. The scene aspect then is by the time you get up to, you climb really good, right? Like, you're really good at climbing.
Yeah, just like a slug, just sticks.
Then you can see, once you get up to a rooftop, which you will need to, there are ghosts moving up and down, in and out of different areas. Sort of with a rhythm to them. They're just going. It's like almost like the dance of jellyfish or something under the water, except to a beat. And at the center of that formation, on top of we'll say an old bakery. It's been in Guam for quite some, in Stella Maris for quite some time, probably since the city was first properly established after being built up on top of a village. There is what looks like a person, or now that you get a better look at it, a robot. That same robot that you encountered earlier, holding a flute and playing it. They have their back towards you, however. You have the option of confronting them directly, going from rooftop to rooftop, or you can tell I Speak what you've seen.
I'm actually on his shoulder. I stuck one of me to him.
Yeah, there's a lamprey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attached. So what do you guys want to do as a team?
Can you stick me to?
I'd have to get close, but yeah.
Just throw me in the general direction.
That's more of a Towner thing. I'm gonna have to get close. Or at least closer.
Yeah, I would get a little bit closer to to the robot, and then I guess huck Ice Peak's lamprey at it.
Okay. You get closer to the robot, turn to huck the lamprey. The lamprey. How much do you feel through your lamprey? Like you feel everything that they experience,
yeah.
right?
It's not
Okay.
fun. Yeah.
The thing you experience is being cut in half, like
Oof.
right bisected, right down to like vertically.
Okay.
Like, lengthwise, you are just filleted.
Oof.
Um,
Never a fun time.
Mikey, give me a gaze roll real quick. Yeah, you're able to see. You see the brief outline of a humanoid with bladed feet that kicked up through Ice Peak's lamprey in an arc and just completely bisected it with a cut so smooth you'd swear she was always cut in half. Like it was clean. And then that humanoid figure just disappears and the person playing the flute stops playing it. They turn around after lowering the visor on the front of their helmet and then pick up one of the halves of Ice Peak and kind of give it a wiggle. Are your lamprey, do they have the sort of regenerative resilience that you have, or are they just dead when they're dead?
I assume they die and then I regenerate a new one at the source, which is whatever, me, the main cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ice Peak, when you're cut, normally what happens is you just feel it. But what happens this time when you're cut this way is you feel inevitably down the area of like from your head, like pretty much to your belly, you feel like it's gonna split. All the lamprey that compose you have likewise been like seemingly cut, but it hasn't happened yet. It just feels like it's about to.
Ooh, okay. So I'm like cursed with a future cut?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost like you've been doomed.
All right. Do I put that on my...
Yeah, I'll put it on your sheet.
Yeah, it's fine. Just severe, just doomed.
Mikey, what do you want to do now that you've seen this? It's possible that the robot that did this could spot you if you're close enough to throw Ice Peak.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said it lifted its visor. Can I see the face of the person in there, or can I move myself to a way to?
You could see that it was before they. Yeah, I'd say before they put their visor on, you could see they were human, and it does seem to be the exact same robot you were dealing with earlier.
Okay, so the robot's not a robot either.
Is he just a guy in a suit?
Elon Musk got away with it again.
Just a guy in a suit. Sonny, are you in there?
He can't keep doing it.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Exactly. I don't know. Part of me wants to try and not get sliced in half, but do see what the robot's doing. So I guess I would kind of hide out. Like maybe just like tuck my head, but then like two little eye stalks rise up and just keep an eye on our weird not robot friend.
Okay. Give me an all-seeing eyes roll. With the 2, you're able to get somewhat of a look at this person, like where you are without getting too. Well, let's see what they get actually. Yeah, you're able to like they don't seem to notice you. They just look around and then go back to looking at the eel. Finally, if you stay there and hidden, the person, whoever it is, will wiggle the eel up in the air. Hello, police officers. I believe you have lost this. He wiggles it again. Snake, please come and retrieve your snake.
Without getting without lifting his head up, or if anything, he'll retract one eye stalk so that there's just even less likelihood of another eye getting removed. And he'll just kind of I don't want to necessarily say shout, but he'll just go,
Is your friend gonna cut me in half too, or is, are we okay?
Ha 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 ha. I know that voice, and I know this snake. You are cops. You are cops. You have come to investigate me. What a foolish pursuit. Ha 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 ha. LOL.
Okay, uh, guy in a robot suit. Can I pick up my friend or?
Yes, merely approach me and you will be able to retrieve your friend, or at least the part of your friend. Go ahead. Get closer to me. Go on. Close the distance. What are you waiting for? Get within 15 meters.
That's very specific, and I'm afraid to now.
No, it is not a warning. It is an invitation. LOL. Ha 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 ha. LMAO.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say her lamprey got murdered because otherwise he was gonna be like, "What do I do?" But there's no one around.
It's you. I'm dead.
Yeah, I would say at this point, I mean, they both know that each other's there, so he would probably climb up the rest of the building and like meet this robot thing on the roof.
How
Within
close would you say
15
you are?
meters?
Yeah, are you within?
I
Yeah.
like I am on like the exact edge of the building. Like I don't know where it's standing in regards to it, but like I literally like climbed up from the side and I'm standing perfectly on the edge. So like if I need to fall off, I can.
Ha 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 ha. You know, it is rude to throw snakes at people while they are working.
This may be a weird DM question. Do robots have working rights in the future?
Generally speaking, you're not usually allowed to interfere with them if they're being licensed by a corporation. It's considered to be damage or interference with like public property. As if you had vandalized a vehicle. Um, they don't have like rights as in like you could slap one in the face, and if you don't leave a mark on it, the cop's not going to give a shit. If you like damage it or scratch it, they might care. It's more likely if the person who owns it files a lawsuit about it, or presses charges.
Okay, so what I did wasn't technically illegal. It would just kind of be like a dick move.
It's a dick move. And if you throw yourself in front of an automated vehicle and it hits you, it's not responsible. Likewise, if you try to threaten a machine and like you're injured or killed while you do that, it's considered to be about the same as you jumping in front of a train. You're not really, as long as the machine is lawfully allowed to be operating, then you're just, all you're doing is getting in the way. So it depends, I guess. In this case, I'll say you're just bothering it. So technically, you're not breaking the law. It could be said that you're littering. I guess it depends on if it throws Ice Peak away or not.
Yeah, okay. Then if that's the case, Mikey would probably go. You know I'm a police officer and I know the law. I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't know all the law, especially involving the working rights of robots such as yourself. And I kind of like stare at him to see if he does anything with that kind of statement, and then I go, but just kind of checking on you to see what's going on. We heard music, so I was just investigating it. But
is it illegal to play a flute during the witching hour on a rooftop?
I mean, it might be a noise complaint.
Have you received any noise complaints, officer?
Not personally.
Then this is police harassment.
I mean, that's not, no.
You're harassing me.
I'm not harassing you.
Cease your harassment.
You started talking to me. I was literally right here. And he like points down off the side of the building.
In the old days, this would be settled with violent means. But because of the moon and the way that it looks tonight, I have decided that we will settle this peacefully. You may retrieve the parts of this snake. It shakes the pieces of Ice Beak again, if you wish. and you will not be harmed. But do not interfere with my work. Do not spy upon my work. Do not attempt to confiscate my flute. Do not watch my workers.
I,
Do not ask if ghosts are real. Do
I
not
didn't.
ask if the curses are real. Do not ask about the state of Japan. Do not ask if Japan is in fact a real place. Do not
You're
ask if
saying
Japan
what?
was submerged 25 years ago. Do not
Wait,
ask.
what? I didn't have any of those questions, but now I do.
I see. Then we must settle this in the old ways.
No, what? I. I'm just gonna go pick up my friend.
Very good. You must only come and retrieve it from
I-
my hand.
I'm going to just like I'm a cop, so like don't attack me. That like it's like that's also a big crime.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow. Today I learned that attacking a cop is a crime.
I mean, attacking anybody's a crime, but like
Oh.
cops usually look down on people.
I see. Yeah, and wiggles the snake parts. Technically, I have attacked a cop. Should you not try to arrest me?
And Mikey just looks at like the two halves of like Ice Peak, just kind of goes,
This happens a lot though with her. She does.
No, I invite you to try to arrest me right now. Come and do it.
I mean, I just rather collect the pieces.
No, you must enforce the law. It is part of your job as a police officer. You must enforce the law. You must enforce the law. You must enforce the law. You must enforce the law.
Okay.
and Mikey will reach for his handcuffs and hold them out and just go,
I'm going to arrest you now. Please put your hands where I can see them and keep them up at all times.
Those cops will not hold me. I am a robot.
I mean, these are the only ones I have, so they're gonna kind of have to work.
You need special robo-cuffs.
I don't think those are a thing. We aren't issued those.
Doribo Corporation sells special robo-cuffs at a very reasonable price. Would you like to purchase robo-cuffs?
No, I don't think I can expense that. I feel like the chief would definitely make fun of me for buying robo cuffs from a robot to arrest him with.
Pulls a pair of elaborate techie-looking cuffs from behind its back. I happen to have some on me right now. Would you like to
That's way
purchase
too
these
convenient.
robo-cuffs?
No, I don't. I'm gonna use I'm gonna use handcuffs.
Okay, put the handcuffs on my hands. It puts its both of its arms out.
Okay.
and he'll start walking towards the robot to handcuff it.
Okay. It allows you to cuff it. Ha 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 ha. And then it slowly just pulls its arms apart. The cuffs break. This would not have happened if you had purchased robo-cuffs. If you had purchased the robo-cuffs, you would have avoided this situation exactly. Now, how many pairs of robo-cuffs should I
I'm
put
not
you
buying
down
any
for?
robo cuffs. Zero.
5.
Zero.
Do you have
Please.
and like at this point, like Mikey's kind of like he's staring at like the face plate on this thing and like looking around on like the chest and stuff, and is like, is there a button to like, is there a tech person?
Can I talk to a person? Person.
You wish to speak to a human.
Yeah, open that mask up.
Okay, one moment. It lifts its mask.
Do I recognize the person looking at me?
Yes. Yes, you do. The person behind the robot mask, the person who has who was at the reception earlier, it's Sonny.
Oh, you're everywhere. Are you like the only person that works for Doribo? You're
Not on paper.
That's a weird way to answer that. But I don't need you're clearly not a robot. I don't need robot cuffs.
Oh, do you need to speak to the robot again?
No, please don't put that mask
He
down.
slowly begins to lower the visor, but he stops halfway. I don't usually deal with people face to face like this. It's a little weird.
You've already met us.
I sort of, but it's easier when the robot does it.
I don't know about that.
He's good. He almost sold those RoboCuffs. I think
He didn't have a cell. There was no.
I really feel like you were real close to buying those cuffs.
Wasn't gonna happen. I can't expense that.
Too cheap.
You didn't even give me a price. You just tried to put me down for 5 of them.
Like $60 a piece.
That's so much.
They're really good.
I'm if you were actually a robot, I feel like maybe just a strong enough magnet would work.
I mean, I'm not a robot.
Well, yeah, you're not. We're getting way off track. What's with the flute? Why was there coffin delivering meat at 3 a.m?
Can I have caught up?
Sonny starts to sweat. He starts to slowly put his hand back up to the visor. He's slowly starting to lower it again.
Steady, I know. I told you under there.
No, it's a robot.
You can't just do the robot thing again. I know this is a bit. How did you break those handcuffs? These are supposed to be made for mermen.
I'm sorry, I can't answer your questions. He lowers the visor really quick. Wow, that was close.
Did you curse them? Like you can, I mean, I don't think that's. I think you can disclose that. I mean, I guess if your company won't allow you to, that's a whole other thing. But that's on your end, not on mine.
Yeah, I speak. You could have caught up. Jeez.
There's just a massive like swarm of lamprey just climbing up the building.
Basically, like winding its way around a drain pipe and just kind of flopping over.
Yeah, just carrying like her coat and stuff.
Why am I cursed again?
Oh, hey, it's you. I can't believe you are here. What a coincidence.
As if you did not plan this.
Why would I have planned this? What did I want all the attention for? It doesn't make any sense. I'm just a harmless, I'm the secretary.
Exactly why did you send us that piece of metal?
I don't know what you mean by send you the piece of metal. What do you mean? How did you get a piece of metal?
She narrows her eyes at him. So, why spreading your ghosts around our city again?
Well, actually, these ghosts are all from your city. And yes, it was quite difficult finding a Japanese one, but I managed.
I do believe that makes them still Guam citizens.
Correct. And last I checked, it's not illegal to hire ghosts.
I didn't think they're. And like Mikey, you can see Mikey's just kind of thinking it through. I didn't know we needed ghost law.
We do now. Though I'm more curious about the meat.
Oh, the cloned meat?
Oh, yes.
The dinosaur meat.
Yes, they do seem tasty. Was it to attract down?
Well, I mean, He's slowly starting to lower the robot visor again. It seems to be like almost a security blanket.
She hasn't seen it with him down. Why is he wearing a robot suit?
Oh, he was the robot from when we went to to pick up the meat. That's how he knew us then. And it's just like a thing he does. Don't say no if he tries to sell you anything. He's gonna try and do that. Don't.
I believe he tried his sales pitch on Tanner and it did not work. What are you looking for, Sonny?
He stops while he's lowering the visor and just lifts it back up again fully. And he takes off the helmet. I'm looking for qualified individuals who can assist me with a certain task that I need to have accomplished in Japan. Now, you're from Guam, so I don't expect you to be willing to go to Japan. So I had all sorts of plans to get you there. But I figured it'd be nicer to ask, because when I look at the moon tonight, I can see it's a moon of union or agreement. A new moon means new possibilities. So I was hoping to get your attention by highlighting all the strange little flaws within your legal system, your society, the underprivileged and underserved members of the community from which you come have been given cloned meat, and suddenly everything is all right. Workers are ghosts that are trapped on this earth, only looking for paradise or the ability to move on. And the demons that haunt your buildings from the murders saturate the walls and the floorboards like blood or dye, staining everything. All of it going unnoticed, unchecked, uncleaned, unregulated. Not a single industry addresses those needs, or at least none did until Dorobo stepped up. I need people who are interested in law and order to look into something that is related to Guam. I also need those who are willing to overlook certain extrajudicial, how do I say it? Appendages to the body of what law and order really is. That includes ghosts, curses, maybe demons, an occasional stand user, as well as anything that has to do with things that may have fallen from the moon. If you feel as though you may be able to assist me with this, Dorbo Corporation will be very, very interested in making sure that Guam is a nice, peaceful place, free of curses, demons, and, well, malevolent ghosts. We can't really do a whole lot with those that don't wish harm. Well, we could, but ethically speaking, we usually just leave them alone. Consider this, friends. You've been swimming in dark waters this whole time. Ever since that incident from over a year ago. I believe it was something to do with the old police chief of this city. Assassinated by strange supernatural means. Ever since then, you and your group have been playing catch up, trying to get a hold on a rising tide of corruption that threatens to swallow your entire city. And not just that, but the whole island of Guam. I'm sure it's been very rough going, has it not?
It has been difficult. And you could have just given me a call.
I could, but how would you know I'm serious? Everyone on your squad takes things so lightly. I bet, he shakes a finger at you all. I bet you probably just thought that I was interested in selling dinosaur meat. Did any of you actually wonder where I got the machines to make dinosaur meat? Why I have ghosts to deliver the dinosaur meat? Did any of you actually wonder why it is that I turned a man into a teddy bear?
I had many questions.
I mean, you said that was a curse, but obviously that we don't believe that now.
It was a curse. But curses are like currency to me. I can manipulate them freely, toss them around here and there, collect them, use them later. Curses are like a plaything, a remnant of an uncaring, unjust world. Did you know that there is even a goddess of curses? It's true. Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
I mean, that's not surprising. Usually pantheons have lots of gods that cover lots of subjects.
The humans worship her.
Sounds unpleasant.
Indeed. I thought so too. I'm not a fan of gods, actually. Not a fan at all. But that's neither here nor there. As I was saying before, what say you take a trip to Japan, a vacation? Dorbo will arrange your transportation. We will speak to your chief. We are recruiting you as a sort of consultant for a brief foray into the land of the rising sun. Though, legally speaking, the sun hasn't risen properly for the past, 25 years. It appears sometimes, but I wouldn't call it rising. More of a sudden emergence and unpleasant departure.
What do you expect us to do there?
That is the question. There is a certain thing there, a certain object, which I am not able to attain, unfortunately. Its nature eludes me. I can't get close, even though I am the most capable person in this organization. It seems that it would best be handled by one of your kind. But if I were to hire just anyone, well, lack of accountability Who knows who they work for? They could take it back to Avicii if they really wanted. Or just try to sell it to the highest bidder. But police, I think maybe I have a higher chance of being able to trust. Especially one like you. He points at Ice Peak.
She slowly raises an eyebrow. Like me.
There is a curse within you that is far older than any that I have ever laid. A curse of metal. A curse of magnets. I've seen it. I detected it the first time I removed one from you. And I'm sure you'd like to know where the person is who laid that curse, and more importantly, how you might be able to take care of them permanently. What would you give for a chance at revenge?
Well, you know where he is. But rest. I'm listening.
He shakes a finger. You know where one of them is.
She
There's-
slowly raises her other eyebrow, so that they're both up. Oh, more than one?
Indeed. Wouldn't it be surprising if you were dealing with more than one individual when you thought you were just talking face to face with whoever it is that you were talking to? Quite disturbing indeed.
I often have many faces.
I know. I think at this point, I feel like I've seen you die at least once, twice. Those eels, oof. Lampreys? Not snakes.
I have died many times.
There's always the last time that it happens. Right after he says that, a small split appears on your forehead.
She touches her forehead and then puts both her hands behind her back and says, "Well, kill me now if you wish, but then you'll never get what you wish."
Are you playing chicken with me right now?
I think you underestimate my need to be alive.
Narrows his eyes. Well, the curse was incidental. Fine. Close your eyes. All of you. All of your eyes, please. Every single eye.
There are many, but she does close her facial eyes. She probably closes them all, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Mikey, you could see like his hair kind of moves a little as like the stalks kind of pull back into like his head, like top of his hat, and then he even, despite the fact he doesn't have eyes where like human eyes should be most of the time because his hair hides it, he just puts his hand over there.
Okay. Well, he turns his back towards both of you, and then kind of glances over his shoulder, and then you hear a click, 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 click. Ice Peak, your head reseals. You no longer have that feeling of something bulging as if a blade were about to cut you in half. Did anyone actually peek?
No, but I kind of can guess what that sound is.
It sounded like a watch being wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he has on his belt.
No, he has it on his wrist.
Okay.
Of course, when he turns back around, there's nothing on his wrist.
Interesting. He'll have to tell us when to open our eyes.
Okay, you can look. You can look.
With your private moment.
Trade secrets, very important. Can't let them get out. Of course, cloned meat is kind of a trade secret, too.
And other things found dug under a beach, I would assume.
Ooh, you better be careful.
I haven't signed anything yet. I have not signed anything yet.
If this is a matter of trying to shake me down for information, be upfront about it.
I am being upfront about it. I have yet to study anything. I'm quite disappointed.
No more words on this matter, please. I don't want to have to kill the both of you right now. I will, but I don't want to.
She just smiles and turns her head away, stops speaking.
Good. He folds his arms and gets like almost huffy. Why is this so hard? I'm supposed to be a high quality executive level man. Ordering people like you around should be easy. Yet it always comes down to vague threats and murder. Why can't people just work for the heck of working it? Where's the ethic? The work ethic?
I would love to do so, but it starts with threats. I think perhaps you should begin with something else. At least I'm not very good with people, so but I find threatening them that's a different sort of work.
Okay. Hold on. He turns around and then turns back. Hello, my name is Sonny Fortuna. I am the secretary to the chairman of the Dorabo Corporation, and I am interested in having your aqua unit do a little consultation work in Japan for the retrieval of a certain object. You will be paid, and I will personally ensure that the Dorabo Corporation will assist with some of your investigations here in Guam.
Sounds like a wonderful arrangement.
Great. What do you think? He looks at Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey's just like he's just kind of been there for this whole tense interaction, and he just goes, I mean, you got to lower the price on those RoboCups. We don't even know if they work. You're not even a real robot.
They
You
are
could have broke those too.
$60 is at cost. I just need people to use them and
How many
advertise
robots
that
are
they
running
work.
around though?
That's besides the point.
Well, I mean, you can't just make a product if there's no use for it. Like, why would I?
Reaches and puts a hand on his shoulder.
I just have so many questions.
Sonny looks genuinely upset.
No, I mean, I'm sure if there were more robots, but I don't know any robots personally. I thought you were till you weren't.
I know plenty of robots, and they think that the cuffs are a good idea.
I mean, do they work on them, or are they just playing with you? Because what if there's like a robot uprising, and you're like, let's use the RoboCups, and then the robots just break out of them because they're like, no, Sonny, they work totally.
He kind of he stops looking upset, and then he lifts his head up and just kind of stares at you with suspicion in his eyes. So the robots are plotting against me.
No, I didn't say that. I don't know any robots. I just said that. Wait, do I? No, I don't.
I told you to say that, didn't I?
No, I don't know any robots.
Did they get to you?
No.
Okay, well, sorry about that. He just shakes his head. I don't know where I went there for a second. The cuffs. You can have them. He tosses them to you, actually, Mikey. Here you go. Free sample. Don't lose them.
Oh, okay.
Really, don't lose them because, they're $60 handcuffs. So you don't
You just said I could have them, though.
Well, yeah, you can have them, but they are worth $60. They're expensive.
I assume this was like okay, whatever, and I'd just pick them up. Are they any different from normal handcuffs?
Yes, actually, they are quite advanced looking.
Okay.
Okay, here's the deal. He claps his hands together. I hire ghosts to do jobs around Guam and other parts of the world, wherever I have a Dorabo kind of establishment. We just hire out local ghosts. I have a flute. He seems to pause. Well, I don't know how much I want to talk about that part. The flute.
A pity.
Well, it's a flute, you see, in it.
I mean, you have a lot of cursed items, it seems, that do things.
Oh, I simply wanted to say you play quite beautifully.
Well, thank you. I spend actually a lot of time practicing, but thank you. But the point is, where do you see yourselves in, well, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years? Are you going to be here in Guam doing this job forever?
I mean, I'd like to go see the world.
The world. The whole world? Every single horrible part of the world? Is that literally what you want? To see the world in its ugly entirety, hideous as it is?
I mean, as much of it as I can. I mean, I've only ever lived here in Guam. There's still so much out there.
And what happens if you see the world
And then it sees you back, staring at you with its eye. Singular, stony, iron core eye.
I would say as he's like talking, Mikey probably whispers to Icebeak, he's like, "What's happening?"
I believe you have upset him.
I don't know what I said that upset you. I mean, maybe you've had a different experience, but as somebody who hasn't kind of left the nest, so to speak, it just seems like it'd be worthwhile.
Upset? I don't know what you mean. I'm not upset. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just. Where were we? What were we talking about?
You were trying to hire us to track something down in Japan that you. Well, what is it specifically that it is that you're looking for?
Oh, right. It's something peculiar. A sort of. Almost like a meteorite, but not quite. How familiar are you with Japanese history?
I don't know how much Mikey would have read up on Japanese history. I feel like part of that, like that being his whole thing is like wanting to see the world. He's probably done some research on like anywhere and everywhere he can. Yeah, so probably not a lot.
Hmm.
A lot of surface level on like everywhere, but
Yeah.
I can roll a brain trust to see how much I've studied it.
Sure.
yeah, I can roll Wanderlust.
Give me a brain trust roll. Yeah, within the past, we'll say 3 decades, Japan has been a largely normal, peaceful kind of place, but the rumors of it being the land of 1,000 curses persist, almost like an urban legend. People have gone there and come back and said that it was like normal. Some people have reported hauntings, but you just know that Japan is weirdly kind of almost in a stasis. Like not much has changed. Fashion, movies, music, anything that comes out of Japan is almost been at a standstill. Everywhere else in the world is just kind of, rapidly changed, especially with the appearance of mer people in Atlantis.
What's the status of mer people over in Japan?
Kind of unknown. Nobody's really gone to settle there.
From the outside, it seems peaceful. Peaceful.
Good. Good. That's good. That means you won't have fear when you go in. You'll be completely empty of terror.
Oh, it cannot compare to the bottom of the sea.
I'm sure. Going in there with empty, light hearts, that's the best idea. Going in there with fear, it would use the fear against you in some way. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, Japan's nice, and they love mer people there. Oh yeah. Yeah.
See, so your heart is too dark to receive whatever it is.
Maybe so. Dark is a strange sort of term to use for it. I think of it as familiar.
Oh, are you so? Very haunted.
It could be a matter of haunting. It could be a matter of something else. I can't disclose exactly until you get to Japan. Then I will be able to disclose everything. And trust me, it's not a suicide mission or anything like that. Not at all. Not even a little bit. You will definitely live throughout the entire experience. Yep.
Sounds wonderful.
Oh, and one more thing. Something I've been holding back, I think, from telling anyone, but it's probably time that somebody should know. Success in this mission could mean one day taking care of the Avicii problem.
Fascinating.
But he holds up a finger. Most importantly of all, taking care of it in a way that allows your kind to continue to exist, as opposed to the other methods, which seem to be focused on a sort of scorched earth policy, where it doesn't matter what happens to you. Doribo Corporation is more interested in neutralizing the threat than it is completely eliminating all traces, which would include you.
I see. So we are very focused on the Dagonites.
Hmm. In a way, it's more a matter of there are certain things involving Avicii that have affected the entire world. Doribo Corporation is a part of the world now, and it seems. And so, it is in our interest in getting rid of Avicii. He should be gone. We are working on things that I can't really go into the details of, but we're working on them. And this thing that I need you to do is a part of that work. Among other things, I'm doing other things in other places. Well, Doribo Corporation is doing things in other places as well. Yes, our entire corporation. By the way, we employ hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands
Of unliving
On
people.
paper.
of people on paper. Paper people. Paper people.
It is mostly you.
That I'm just the secretary to the chairman, please.
Hmm.
It's a prestigious position enough. The chairman is a very experienced gentleman, and I am the secretary. And I have been dispatched to look for enterprising individuals who may be upstanding that can assist with this particular issue. If that is you, and it seems like it is, then all I need to know is when you'd like to depart.
I mean, we need to talk to the rest of our team and get a and get kind of a group consensus on this.
Sure, take your time. Though not too much time. Not too much time. He kind of taps at his wrist where a watch should be. Time is money.
I think you are too focused on money, but time we have limitedly.
Good. Talk to your friends. See what they have to say. If any of them need to do this in the old way, he raises his fist like an old style boxer, makes jabs. I can certainly probably beat some of them and then show them that I am like worthy. I've read several action comics where characters need to do that in order to have cooperation because otherwise they won't be respected.
Comics.
Yes. He makes kind of like weak jabs at the air. Whew.
Those translate well to real life.
Surprisingly well, actually. Weirdly enough.
I will have to read some.
It's what I read in my formative years. Nothing but action comics. That's why I'm so good at fighting, you see.
Right. Okay. Well, we're gonna go meet up with the rest of our team now, Sonny. I guess have fun conducting the ghosts
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's what I
if
do.
you're still doing that.
There's still deliveries to make.
Send us
Right.
the paperwork.
cursed paperwork?
Normal
I mean,
paperwork.
if
I
we can
assume our airplane tickets do not need to be cursed.
Oh, you won't be taking the airplane.
What will we be taking?
The teddy bear.
As the teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
And that explains the teddy bear.
Yes.
A trick to get us there.
Almost. Nobody fell for it.
Yeah. It was there a moment.
Indeed, but not the entire you, just this part. It's fine. Talk to your team, see what they have to say, and if everyone's in agreement, then, well, it's off to the teddy bear.
I think the phrase is it's off to the races, but yeah.
The teddy bear races.
I speak
Sure.
pauses to pick up her dead body pieces.
Sorry about that one. I just felt like I had to. Something was being thrown at me, and it could have been, I don't know, something sharp or deadly.
No, it was fine. I meant to spy on you anyway.
Yeah, you do that a lot. You do spy on me.
You have so many interesting things to spy.
He freezes and stares at you, I speak, and then slowly looks at Mikey and back at you. Just so we're clear, when you're over in Japan, you're not allowed to spy on me.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be spying on many things.
I mean, you would be here, right? How would we be able to? I mean, I guess some of us could. I guess that's.
Oh no, I was planning on coming with you. I can I can go to Japan. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, why wouldn't I come to Japan? Is there some reason
I don't
why
know.
I shouldn't go to Japan? I'm
I
from
don't
Japan.
know. Yeah, no, I'm saying you're from there. You can always go back whenever you want.
No, you're trying to warn me.
No, I'm not.
What do you know?
Nothing.
Are they waiting for me?
I don't know who they are. I don't know.
They're
I
waiting
can't
for
answer
me.
that.
Who is waiting for you?
The robots.
The robot again. I don't know any robots.
Okay, I believe you. It's crazy. You don't know any robots?
Yeah.
What am I saying? I mean, 101101001.
I don't know what that means. I'm not.
All right, that was a
I haven't
test.
picked up binary.
You passed.
Do I need to learn binary? Are there a lot of robots in Japan? Is that a thing? Is it a big issue there?
There are a few. Yeah.
He was only saying a few numbers. It wouldn't have been much of a test.
I mean, it's got to be at least a single letter or number.
Talk to your friends. Just whatever you do, wherever you go, however you decide to spend your final days here in Guam before you depart for Japan, just remember, the world is a screwed up place, but Japan is screwed up in its own special way, a way that is unique to the Japanese people and nation. He bows slightly. I trust you'll make the wise decision, you and your friends, to help the people of Japan and Doribo Corporation.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll come to some kind of agreement. We'll let you know. I think we have your card or your number somewhere.
Yes. Oh, right. He tosses a little satchel of some kind of powder to you, Mikey.
Mikey like kind of reflexively goes to catch it, but then also like pulls his hand back before he does catch it because he knows everything he's ever tried to give us is cursed in some weird way. So it just kind of hits the floor.
It's for your friend. I think one of your friends got cursed earlier.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, and at that point he'll pick it up.
Well, great. Okay, now close your eyes again, please.
I mean, we can leave if you need to stay.
No, I'm going to leave now.
Okay, then we're gonna leave too.
Okay, but I don't want you to see me leave.
Okay, then you can. I mean, like I'm right here.
Then
I'm
you
right
should
there.
learn to sneak better.
Okay, just look. He points in another
Okay, I'm
direction.
not
Just look
dealing
over
with
there.
it. And Mikey will take his sandals off, and like you just see, you can kind of hear and see like the slime kind of like emitting from his feet as he just literally just starts to walk straight down the side of the building. But he will stop just shy of it, and will slowly peek a little eye stalk up to watch.
He looks at you. I speak. Okay, you got it. You gotta. You turn around and leave. You go.
She proceeds to laugh, like, just like way too loud, and then like slither back down the drain pipe.
Hmm.
Who
He looks
knows when I'm watching?
He looks around. You can't really see your eye stalk, Mikey. He doesn't know if Ice Peak's speaking. Ice Peak is ice peaking. So he just turns around and then jumps off the building.
Mikey doesn't say anything because he's not sure if Sonny could hear him, but he definitely, there's a slump in his shoulders. It's like that wasn't even anything cool, I guess. And he just keeps walking down the
then you
side of
missed.
the building.
If that's the case, then you missed the swooping sound and then the sight of two massive black feathered wings flying up into the air like some kind of horrible phantom, sailing through the sky. It's just gone very quickly.
I want to say that the squad car is going around picking people up since they just have the one. And they can have a powwow in the car. But there's so much to cover. I'm going to say, like, let's assume we've all talked and now we're like, let's discuss.
Yes,
Sure.
we all fill each other in on our weird stuff. Who got cursed? I've got a bag of dust for him.
Anya looks left to right and then, like, kind of holds up the business card in her between two fingers. Might have been me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Claudia
It's you. There you
kinda-
go.
Yeah,
Claudia
Claudia
kinda-
did too.
Yeah, Claudia kind of holds up the many photographs. These kept getting weirder and weirder. Also, a guy kind of turned into a locust, and so he was gonna file a complaint.
If it's legitimate, that's within their rights.
I think Gus complained by cursing you.
He wanted my badge number, so I guess he's gonna file a complaint legitimately.
I
Who knows?
somehow doubt that.
I'm pretty sure he actually cursed you too, though.
Yes, it was very rude of him.
Use the powder.
Of course.
That's
I shall
fine.
take that out.
Now then, who wishes to go to Japan?
Before we do, I would need either a babysitter for my two boys, or they would have to come with me. I mean, and I'm not sure it would be wise to do that.
I would not bring your children to Japan.
Yeah,
would
I
not
mean,
either, so I would need a babysitter or something.
Ask Clint.
I will.
he does make a lot of good baked goods.
He does. I just don't want to interrupt his baking or anything.
So is that the game plan then? You're gonna get Clint to babysit for you?
Probably. I mean, she'll probably ask him if it's not going to be too much trouble and she's not imposing or anything.
Well, if you make your way back to the police station, which I imagine you guys would after a certain point, and find Clint and ask him, he'll say, "Really? You want me to watch your kids? Wow, what an honor. Yeah, I wouldn't mind at all."
Thank you. I don't know how long we're going to be gone, so and then she'll probably give basic rundown of Lane and kind of needs and everything. And probably especially about if either one of them shirks homework duties, like usual.
And Clint will get the list and just say, "It's been a long time since I had to take care of kids. Not since my own. They're old now. They left the nest. This will be fun. I actually like kids, so yeah, this is fine. Y'all take care of it. I hope you guys have a fun trip to Japan. I only got brief details about that. I admittedly not in the loop, not like I'm a higher up or anything, but I hear Japan's pretty weird. However, I really actually wanted to try at some point genuine Japanese ramen. Never really had the opportunity. Just the instant noodle stuff. It's still good. I like the kind of roasted chicken ones, and some of the spicy, yeah, spicy seafood flavors are pretty good. And, Well, anyway, you have fun. I'll take double care of the kids. They'll be doing their homework and brushing their teeth, no problem.
Good. Clay's especially bad about that.
No, don't worry. I'm not super strict, but I'm no pushover. I don't think I'm a pushover.
No, you've got this in the bag, and we'll try and bring some back for you.
No, I appreciate that.
Ramen.
Oh,
Anything in particular you wanted? Anything special or souvenirs or anything?
there's a particular type of plum flavored soda. It's not for me, it's for somebody else. I remember them mentioning one time they read about it in a magazine and thought it sounded pretty good, but they couldn't find someone to import it because the company that sells it only sells it in small batches to locals. It was called. Well, I'll text you the name of it when I figure it out. I have to ask that person first. They mentioned that it would be something that might cheer them up, and so what a coincidence, I guess. I was actually trying to scramble to find a place to buy it online, but if you were able to acquire maybe a small case, of course I'll compensate you for the soda plus the, um, you know, like whatever you want to charge as an importer. Business is business, right?
Of course. Just gotta make sure everything's dotted just fine.
Okay. Well then, don't mind me. I'll just be a homebody back here in Guam while you globe-trotting aqua heroes go and save Japan, I guess, huh? That sounds really fun.
I don't know if we're gonna be saving Japan, but we'll do our best. We're just a small group after all.
I used to be a part of a small group too, but we did manage to do a lot, back when we were doing stuff. You'd be surprised at what a small group of people can do. Sometimes it only takes, 4, 5, 6 people to change the world.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Clint.
Wise words.
Sometimes it even just takes one.
Okay.
Not me, though. I'm not the main character of this story.
Yeah, getting
But
real
you're the main
ambitious.
character in your story.
It's true. I am the main character of the Clint saga, the saga of Clint. Episode 1. Figure out where I'm going to buy toothpaste for kids because they don't like adult toothpaste. So I have to get the bubblegum flavored kind, I guess. I know where to get it. I'm just fooling.
Had me worried there for a minute.
It's just the corner store. Well, if there's nothing else, I should probably figure out my schedule for the. How long are you going to be gone for?
You don't know.
Unclear, but we're gonna try and make it quick.
Oh, I got you. This is one of those types of super secret kind of covert international. Oh, you guys are like spies almost, but not spies like bad spies, but like James Bond, like a good guy spy kind of. Yeah, I like that.
Yes, we are like spies.
Just a bunch of James Bonds.
Well,
Be sure to get some sharp tuxedos.
actually, I was thinking it was more like sowing goodwill between two, well, there's exchanges with the police force all the time between countries.
Yes, there is sometimes, sure. Guam doesn't really do a whole lot of international stuff, so this will be really our first foray into doing international policing, any kind of action for the past, I don't know, couple decades at least. Usually it's people that come into Guam to look for smugglers or those that have skipped bail or something like that, or just otherwise evaded international arrest. But this will be one of the first times we're able to export our law enforcement. So this is kind of a big deal, technically. Technically, it is a big deal. I don't want to make anyone nervous. Don't get nervous, but it is kind of a big deal. It's an honor, but it is a big deal.
Well, we are merfolk. Everyone will want to get a look at us.
I don't know why you look normal to me.
I think turns her head a little bit too much. Like, most people get a broken neck.
Clint
Aw.
seems he seems unbothered.
I speak that don't do that.
Also, camera pan over to Towner, who's just a shark man.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. Yeah,
Yeah, no problem.
we'll represent Guam, and we won't let Image falter. It'll be fine.
Good. All right. Well, good. He starts to walk away, nodding. This will be great. This is going to work out great. Oh, he turns around. Be sure to take plenty of pictures. I want to see what it's like really in Japan. You know, instead of like TV shows and like weird spooky documentaries. It can't be that bad, right? It can't be that bad.
I'll do you one better and get some video, if I can.
Nice.
Do you
Ooh,
not already have cursed pictures?
Listen,
Do we have more dust?
those were from ghosts, so I don't think the entire city will be cursed.
wait, did you say ghosts?
Yes. It's a
Ooh,
long
this is too
story.
spooky for me. I gotta go. Sorry, ghosts are really spooky.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Ooh, he just walks away shivering. I'm really scared of ghosts. He leaves.
Clint is too nice for this world.
That's really nice of Clint. Probably in the future, we should probably, I don't know, find some merfolk that, is hard up on cash to watch the kids. I'm thinking, surely there's someone in the community that's trustworthy. She's nodding and touching her chin. But for now, this is good.
Just let Michael watch him.
Oh no!
No.
Michael, where are you going with that bottle boy? Michael, no, don't stop flying!
So I guess your last stop will be a brief discussion with the chief, who will gather you all and let you know that Dorobo is indeed arranged for travel. They say that they are providing their own means of transportation, which is great because it saves on the police budget for this. Your stay will also be covered by Dorobo Corporation. Your insurance will be covered by the Dorobo Corporation. He asked if you have any next of kin. Obviously, Claudia has hers. The rest of you, he just looking around. Do any of you have anybody we need to notify if anything happens to you?
Not a soul, Chief.
No, see, the thing is, I knew that already.
Just my parents.
You have
Not for me.
parents?
Yeah.
Oh.
What? You don't have any family back in Atlantis?
She looks shiftily around. No?
Wait, does Mikey have biological merfolk parents?
No, my thought was that he got adopted.
Oh. It's possible that he has, like, biological parents. It's just that
Yeah, he may not know them, but I feel
Yeah.
like when he first like kind of washed ashore, he might have just been picked up by somebody.
Just
Because
as a
he may have been more of like a slug than a person, so they may have just thought he was a cool pet, and then he just became a kid,
Sure.
or like an adult or whatever,
Like Splatoon.
However, yeah, basically,
Sometimes
yeah,
they're slugs, sometimes they're kids.
yeah, just depends on how much paint you dip him in.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Except instead of paint, it's like a salad.
Yeah, you just throw him in some leafy greens and
A child will emerge.
That's kind of funny, I guess. Just find a giant slug and then he gets in your garden and it's just a kid.
yeah,
And he's-
you leave
and
it
he's-
and then you come back in an hour and yeah, there's
And
like an
he's-
8-year-old just eating your
Yes.
tomatoes.
He's just too cute to throw out.
Well, the chief says after he asks if they have any loved ones, this is let's see. The reason I asked was because I needed to know who could who could really relate what it's like to be alone. He just stares into the distance. Okay, have fun in Japan.
Chief,
Chief,
Okay.
do you need someone to talk to?
No, I'm good.
are you sure? I mean, Clint really has an ear for this.
No,
stuff.
I'm good. I actually have some people I can talk to about this. I have my friends.
It just seems
Okay.
like you've got some follow-up.
I mean,
on it.
My friends Johnny Walker and Jose Cuervo.
are they on the force?
Uh,
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're old friends, old pals of mine.
Are those? She just looks at him.
He just leaves.
I'm sure they're fine people.
Really?
Yeah, he just leaves.
Okay.
This is his office. He just gets up. And
Yeah, he leaves his own office. Yeah.
Let's just say he's not in the right space right now.
I mean, yeah, he is going through that divorce, but
Yes, and he seems to be taking it rather hard.
He should put himself in work.
I speak that works for you, that doesn't work for him.
yeah, he clearly needs some outreach. When we get back, maybe we should take him to eat or something.
Yes, maybe a little vacation to like somewhere.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll find something for him too, like how we're getting Clint at the ramen.
What does he even like though, besides
I don't know. I'm sure we'll find something.
It would probably be more practical to find something his wife likes.
let's not bring his wife
Hey,
into
don't-
this. That's the last thing he needs.
Yeah, let's look for him first.
As you wish.
All right, so the group is pretty much in agreement. They're going to Japan to work with Dorbo Corporation. That's what you're gonna do.
Yep.
This would mark the beginning of a monumental case, although you're not quite sure on the details of it yet. Obviously, it's a big deal for all the reasons that were stated earlier. You have your monumental case finally. This will be the beginning of your arc. There may be new things that are introduced here that will be relevant to other cases. There will be also opportunities for minor and major cases while you're in Japan and when you get back. Although your casework in Japan will likely be limited to what it is that Sunny is asking, there's always a possibility that something could happen. Who knows? In the meantime, there will be a new case file for this, new sheet for it. Things will progress in Guam while you're away. I will tell you, just for the sake of sanity, you won't be in Japan for longer than probably a week or so, maybe a little longer. I don't know, but like, yeah, you don't have to worry about coming back to Guam being on fire or anything.
So the itinerary tells us about a week.
Yeah, about a week or so.
Yeah.
I will tell you also right now, in the case of monumental cases, when they're opened, so you probably won't close this case in a week. The case may be longer than that. Every time you solve a monumental case, there will be a time leap, usually, of anywhere from a few months to a year.
Interesting.
So things will progress, change, likely. It won't be like last campaign where we played basically almost like, every day of the calendar, more or less, or
That was like a countdown, practically.
yeah, this is a little bit different. This is more like the saga of dealing with this new world, and you're dealing with Japan, so that's fun. You will be
All of Japan
all of Japan.
and all of its curses.
Oh god, this will go well.
Only well.
Yeah, we got it.
The next session will be the I'm planning on doing this with each monumental case, a prelude session. Okay, well then the kind of session closing, the last thing, the scene unseen, the out of camera, out of view shot is Sunny entering a room with bright glowing blue tanks and brains floating around in them. He approaches one and says, I did it, guys. I did it. I managed to talk to them and they agreed, and we're gonna solve the problem. He leans closer to one of the tanks and then presses his ear against it. He hears forecasts say that cheese sales are dwindling. The idleness of the factory production line suggests a new storm rolls in. Mathematics are of no use in this, but a scaling, customer-friendly solution would in fact be the fix much needed indeed. Sunny nods his head. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks. And that's really just the end of the scene, is just him listening to weird corporate babble from this brain in a tank as the camera pulls out.
I can't believe that you pulled the he really wasn't a robot thing.
was
To be honest,
so-
I had that
so
plan before I
happy.
even knew that happened at the testing thing. I didn't even know that was.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Because I was like, this is so weird, but sure. And then they actually did that. So once
It was
again, reality
actually
trumps,
real.
yeah.
You're
Mhm.
saying that the game accidentally leaked before you you even played the game.
Or the DM for reality is, you know,
Look, I have many complaints.
just
with the
making
DM
shit
of
up
this.
too.
I have many complaints with the real life DM here. I have story makes no fucking sense. Just none. Restart, please.
All right, yeah, we can just go ahead and just re-roll some stats here. I guess over the course of the night too, the snow will stop. The snowfall, the ashen snowfall.